Welcome back to ECS, ladies and gents. My name's Ebac. Today I am joined by Ryan, who thankfully has come in to save the day at very late notice. Sorry for everyone in the community I asked to cast with me, which is virtually everybody in existence. You couldn't be here. Thankfully, Ryan is. And who do we have lining up today for us, Ryan?
We've got LionsCreed versus Cyberground Gaming.
Ooh, I believe Ex-CGG.
Ex-CGG Gaming, actually. That is my mistake. I apologise. However, it's going to be an interesting kind of game here. It's the semi-finals. Whoever wins this obviously makes it towards the finals. You've got the kind of storied roster of LionsCreed, multiple ECS winners, I believe.
Yep.
And just remarkably good players. However, due to ages, some players turning 18, moving to Nats and things like that, I believe that they've kind of ramped it down this season, and it's all been a bit more relaxed for them. And Cyberground having a good run within the majors, and obviously, you know, seeding wise, making it towards the semi-finals. I'm interested to see how they will play.
Yep, well, so far they've been playing fantastically, and that goes for both of these teams. If you look at the bracket in previous, you will see LionsCreed from next to bottom seed. They weren't quite bottom. Revenge came in that bottom spot, but LionsCreed, 5th place in majors, fought their way through. It came very close. In particular, they struggled against Humble Academy, them taking a map each, and then coming down to a 1 versus 1 at a 7-all. It was so close and just went the way of LionsCreed. But then they played Arctic, which they lost during the regular season, that game on Clubhouse. They won it 7-1 and 7-2 in the map. So the full LionsCreed on show, as you might expect. They will be coming... Well, no, sorry. They will be coming up against either Jaegers or Manic in the final if they get there. But Ex-CGG, they have not lost a game in ECS. At all.
That is something I did not know. However, remarkably impressive there, and it will definitely be a feat for LionsCreed, especially if they went so close with the top contenders team to go against the top majors team there, and which is definitely a step up skill wise. Usually, it'll be very interesting to see if it will go as close as the Humble game, or whether it will be a kind of stomp in either direction. However, mine might, just based off statistics,
it's not.
Based off statistics
no
and seedings, I think we're looking at Ex-CGG winning this.
Yeah, statistically, it basically favors them in every way in terms of ECS, because LionsCreed, they've had an up and down season. But that's the thing. They've had an up and down season. They've been changing rosters around like mad. There was not a single play day during the season where they kept the same roster. They switched a man every single time. And even during the playoffs, they've played a consistent team for 2 games, and then they've switched it to a different team. And I think we've got another variation of a team again here in the semi-finals. So still trying to find their rhythm somewhat, but really putting some wins together against impressive teams does bode well for them. Let's talk about their opposition as well, because I mentioned, obviously, they've not lost so far this season, but it means that they have, because there aren't any draws, they've won everything. The only time they were held any points was in Play Day 1, and that was against Jaegers, and that was an overtime win on Clubhouse 8-6. Came very close. Those are the margins. So fine. Oh, and speaking of so fine, look at those maps. They are delicious. Let's have a look through that, Ryan.
So first we have Coastline being picked up by Ex-CGG. I'm very interested to see how this is, because LionsCreed have basically turned into just a team of gunners. You know, it's a lot more relaxed. It's a lot more, we'll just shoot them, it'll be fine. So to take LionsCreed to this map, it'll be very exciting to see. And then we've got Cafe picked up by LionsCreed. Do you want to talk about that one?
I want to talk about all of them, because the most important thing is I was expecting to see a ban of Consulate, because I know that Cyberground have had some troubles on there in the past in other leagues and the like. Villa, that is a counter LionsCreed ban. Coastline, that's a strange one because LionsCreed are good at it, but forcing them, like getting rid of Oregon and bringing Cafe in, That seems very anti-LionsCreed to me, because LionsCreed don't have the best history on Cafe. They're a bit up and down on it. They had a great performance against Revenge there, but they have been up and down on it, and Cafe is somewhere where Cyberground excel. So that's going to be a really interesting one. Coastline will be the tightest and the most difficult to call because both of these teams are brilliant on it. And if it plays into the chaotic, bizarre nature and we get the sort of Coastline that you expect, it might just favor LionsCreed. So this balance is so thrown off, but I'm getting the impression that Ex-Cyberground might have won this map pick.
Yeah, I'm thinking, if you pick that, you have some sort of plan to it. Either you believe you're incredibly strong and therefore confident on that map, or you know something about the other team, about what they do, about what works for them, and you plan on countering them in one way or another. Or you think your playstyle is going to be advantageous in countering them.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen them a lot here. LionsCreed's main roster, whether they're UAVHQ or I think Zoacro Moment, as you knew him at one point as well, on Coastline. Like, I think we've casted them as that before on that very map. What are you thinking that they might bring to the field that would edge it today over their opposition?
Gunning power, to be honest. Just raw, absolute gunning power.
Well, that is a good point, because statistically, they've not had it this season. They've really been struggling with it. But over the playoffs, they've shown it pretty well, and they're really starting to pick it up. So that's up in the air. That's difficult because they're so inconsistent. It's hard to tell. Whereas, if you're thinking of consistency, look no further than the full-on stats. I'm going to get them right up in front of my face, because Runner and Robbie of the Cyberground variety, they are having a very, very good time. And I say Robbie of the Cyberground variety because there is a Robbie on the opposite team. So, that is why I call him Robitison. I've been doing that for the last 7 months in anticipation of this match. How's that for build-up?
Predicted. Completely predicted.
Runner and Robbie, they are number 1 and 2 in that order in terms of KD for the league season. They are up at the tippity top, absolutely smacking everybody. Robbie has the highest average kill per map in the league season, 10.8 as an average for the league season. He's been going absolutely insane. And they are both the lowest deaths as well per map average, the two of them. And Runner is absurdly low in that. He's got 5.7 deaths per map, which is 2 below everybody else in the league as a minimum.
That is, again, pretty remarkable. Just it shows that maybe their good performance is tied individually to team-wise, or the other way around, actually. So maybe because they're having such a good time within the season, they are performing so well. So. However, they haven't appeared flaky, which either means they're consistent or that team aspect is really, really good for them. So once we get onto the slower maps like Cafe and Clubhouse, both picked by LionsCreed, we might see a bit of a shift towards Cyberground.
Yeah, I'm thinking that might be the case. Anyway, I think regardless, LionsCreed are going to have to try and take map 1. Otherwise, they are in serious trouble. Obviously, they have the ability, they have the skill, they have the experience to be able to come through on it. But I'm thinking of recent games where I'm thinking Cafe as a danger zone for LionsCreed, because although they beat out Revenge there earlier on in the playoffs, they weren't that convincing. I wasn't particularly overwhelmed. Even during the regular play days, in Playday 1, they played Revenge as well, and they only won in overtime very marginally as well. That came very close. A Revenge roster who kind of were struggling at both those points within the season as well. And you look as far back as the last final, they played Jaegers there and lost it as map 1 in the final. So it's not a great record. And to be fair, they've not even played Coastline this season at all. I haven't seen them play it in a very long time. So hoping that they're not rusty.
Or hoping that their Cafe is good. Remember, it's not over after the first map. You can go to the third map. You can hopefully tie that up 1-1 and make it to that 2-1 scoreline, possibly on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Clubhouse is a lot about your fundamentals within the day. So it's just who's going to be the better team. And to be honest, again, I'm thinking Ex-Cyberground.
All right, well, here we are in the ban phase. I believe it was supposed to be the other attack and defense the other way around, but it doesn't really matter. It seems they're just going to carry on, which is fine. So that means Ex-Cyberground with the bans to start off with. They're going for a Thatcher. No real surprise. I'm expecting a Clash, just because everybody bans Clash nowadays on Coastline. And I've been asking everyone this because she's not really the most useful here. What are you thinking as towards that ban? Maybe we'll see it today.
A clash ban. I think it just because of how little strategy you can kind of find within Coastline. I think they tend to ban more operators, for example, such as Thatcher and Blackbeard, where it's a lot more just kind of comfort bans really, and making sure that the opposition can't just use a more annoying ops rather than strategically viable ops.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to be looking at a rehost due to just a bit of a mishap when it comes to the sides here. Yeah. So you get to see our wonderful faces. Hello again. So we're just waiting for that to be fixed. It should be done pretty soon. But yeah, Clash Ban's brilliant for taking out those annoying operators, but tactically it doesn't have too much of a impact.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that I see that. I'm just trying to piece it together, but teams obviously they just don't want to deal with it, just in case there's a strategy that the other team have. And I think you have that ability with Coastline just to be able to throw a random ban in there. I feel like Coastline should be one of those maps where there isn't a ban phase and you just go on in straight away because it's going to be a nightmare either way. Why not? Anywho, the bans that we did see, I imagine, will be stuck. And LionsCreed, they banned out the Blackbeard, which usually is a pick against them as a target man, onto Steno, a very targeted pick to make him stop playing that Blackbeard. But also, the other side, Valkyrie as well. Stopping the intel for their opposition. Very, very important. Starting now, I guess, on the attack, but now that we're rehosting, they'll be on the defensive side. So will they still ban the Valkyrie? I'm not sure, but let's assume that they will.
I'd assume they'd take out the Valkyrie still.
Mm-hmm.
But it might change. It might be very... I've talked about how flexible this team can be, just based off their circumstances. So it might be a bit more playing around, almost theory crafting within the official itself. And we might see, Valkyrie not banned, maybe heading for a Mira, or something else along those lines, just to free up some info and be able to use. However, because of how, again, we keep talking about it, but just little strategy or little kind of strategies we know it. We're talking about hard breach and we're talking about, the kind of taking ground and the mini games really. You see within Coastline, you can bring things like the IQ. You can actually run a lineup with no hard breach whatsoever.
Yeah.
And still have it be competitively viable.
Yeah, you can have a ball, you can do whatever you want here. I want to talk about some of these lineups for a sec, just before we get on in.
Go ahead.
Just some of the individual players who are in, because we got some mix-arounds with Ex-CGG as well, because Bomb has been very consistent throughout the season, but Superstar has been, he's very aptly named, because he has stepped in for the last couple of play days in the season, and he was incredible. A fantastic performance. I have a cafe one in mind, particularly on the final play day. I believe it was Skittle.jpg actually slightly before that, and his first game in when we didn't know who he was. And he just stepped up and ran the game from a supporting position somewhat. He was playing ace, I recall, quite a lot, having a really good time. So he's one to keep an eye on. He is very high stat-wise, but obviously hasn't played too many games, so I can't quite... It's not really fair to put him in with everybody else percentages-wise. Alex as well, key performer when he stepped into the lineup. Quite a unique setup for Cyberground, but I feel like it might be one of their stronger sides in total. And then we look over at LionsCreed. Of course, you've got the ever-present Steno. He is always in this lineup. He's the only player who's played every game for LionsCreed consistently throughout this season. Heavy's been in and out, but today he's got the nod. Panda is instead removed as Noodle keeps his spot from the previous playday. Robbie is in. That's Robitussin, of course, Robbie. And Verns has found his way back into the lineup, who was very impactful at the beginning of the season, had some incredible plays, and is a brilliant clutch player. I feel like he might be the little spark on probably a map like Cafe, where he could just suddenly rescue a game.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you there. just speaking about Superstar, he just that EA12 on ice, man, it's terrifying. You know, especially when you have a player that knows how to use it, like a hard support who knows how to gun, and when his gun has to be up, then it is so terrifying to play against. I'm interested to see how this lineup on LionsCreed play. Again, you're talking about the sheer amount of roster changes they do constantly. So it's very hard to keep track of players, especially for me, where I haven't had much time. Ebak's the king of ECS, so he knows. However, I do not, so it's very hard discussing this because I have very, very little experience within this scene. But I'm just very, very excited to see teams of this caliber play together.
Yeah,
really.
it's
I'm
crazy.
just happy to be here, man.
It's the fact that we've got 4 majors teams in the semi-finals. We've never had that since I've been here, and I don't believe in the entire history of what has been ECS in whatever form it's been in the past. So that is very exciting, because let's talk about the other semi-final in the meantime, because Jaegers and Manic, I believe.
Yes.
Whilst this game gets going on, we actually see if the bans are stuck this time as the same thing. What do you think of Jaegers Manic? That's tomorrow.
To be honest, I think that'll be a Jaegers win. Manic were good against MSC. However, MSC, to their own admission, were playing at the fullest, and just couldn't handle it. Jaegers are, I believe, second in majors during regular play. They are absolutely insane.
They were
even with roster changes. I believe.
Well, they've got more coming. That's the issue.
More coming. I've heard.
Well, we'll hear more about that tomorrow.
Well,
I think.
Yes.
Great performances from both.
Ebak, I assume you're totally supporting Jaegers, as you are contractually obligated to do so.
No, I'm not.
No,
definitely not.
Wait till Kenda hears about that.
I mean, we'll have to see who I voted for at the beginning of the season, because I have all the staff's stats on that. To see the bans have played out the same way, thankfully, so we're not getting any sort of mix-up. All the previous stuff we were talking about is still in play. The Valkyrie gone, but LionsCreed, they are starting on the defense this time around. Wait a second, LionsCreed are now banning. Oh wait, they've done the opposite.
The exact opposite.
They've taken each other's bans. All right, fair enough. Well, anywho, here we are. We got a mirror at the end. So, I mean, no surprise on the attacking side. Defensively, that's a bit of a hit for any defensive side here. Yeah.
I assume if both of those bans, the Blackbeard and the Thatcher and then the Valkyrie and the Mirror, are each other's kind of like secondary bans. So if LionsCreed ban Blackbeard's, Cyberground and ban Thatcher type stuff. So I think that's probably what's happened there.
Yeah.
However, Mira literally makes an entire site viable within Coastline. You really can't play Penthouse without Mira.
Wait,
or it's incredibly difficult to do so.
What's Sark's doing here? He's the coach.
Oh.
Wait a second.
Sark's is here.
Let me have a check. I was told it's Superstar and Alex today. It doesn't seem like it. We've got Shatter and Sarks, who have not played for this team throughout the entire league season. So this is a first appearance for the two of them. Unless somehow Shatter Dan is like somebody on a different account. Let's try and find that out behind the scenes whilst we get on going. But this is a big mix-up for Cyberground, Ex-CGG, and that's going to be... It's going to be interesting. It might have a big impact on this game, actually. I'm hoping that Sarks is up to the level of his players as well.
Quite possibly. You see him, he's on that flank watch, probably the only supportive role within that attacking lineup, so he's definitely taking a kind of background role here. So maybe he's not quite there compared to the rest of his team, but he's providing, and hopefully once we get to the second map, his role will be a lot more fleshed out and a lot more impactful on that support.
Yeah, the support's definitely the way to go, and a perfect operator for him to support his teammates. But at the same time, you spoke about if LionsCreed are going to win, it's going to be that kind of fragging war that they might come out on top. having someone who's not necessarily. I mean, we've got to see. I don't know. Maybe he's a brilliant player. We've got to wait and see. But that could be a potential issue going on later in the game as it drags on. We'll have to see. Anywho, Robbie gets things started by losing a lot of health, and he doesn't trade much back onto Noodle. Noodle escapes, takes down Sarks. Our worry somewhat confirmed straight away.
Yeah, as that there goes Sarks playing relatively aggressive on Zero, a kind of active flank watch player, or an active flank watch operator as Robbie Tucson takes out Shatter as well. There goes your Zofia. That's a lot of utility gone within less than 2 minutes into the round.
They were our question marks, but now they're just they're now just I guess exclamation marks.
Yeah, they've been crossed out. As Robbie crosses himself over towards Office, they're looking to try and cut him down. Was that a run out? Oh no, was it? Yeah, no, that was just it was just a peek. I thought it was a run out from Hookah. I thought they've just decided to go incredibly aggro. If this is how Coastline's gonna play, it's looking good for LionsCreed. But Bomber and Runner are still in the fight, and they might be able to pull off a 2v5. They've got tons of time left.
Yeah, they've got a while to figure out what they want to do, but Runner, he's not sealed. The kill, Steno's actually got the better of him, and it's down to Bomber, not statistically one of the most fraggy players on the team. He's got to find 5 players if they're not going to lose the first round, and it looks like they will. It's a flawless, what a start for LionsCreed. Exactly what they will have wanted, exactly in the game plan. We're talking about question marks, we're talking about exclamation marks, and that round just sealed with a very nice full stop.
Yeah, underline that too, because that was a showing from LionsCreed there.
Bold 72-sized text.
Oh, yeah, no. Saying we win.
Yes.
As LionsCreed have made it clear that they are not here to mess about.
Don't leak their strat book.
They're looking...
It's just a Word document with we win on it. Dear me.
Yeah. But yeah, just... not to mess about, and they're really looking to win.
The dream start for LionsCreed. Obviously got to continue that momentum, but it's a worry for Cyberground because they didn't get a single kill, and this is exactly what LionsCreed want to do. They want to be aggressive. They want to dominate Coastline in a way that you're scared to get inside of the map. In general, you don't want to enter the building because you never know if there's going to be someone lying in wait for you, because that's what LionsCreed do, and it's what they've just done here already. Cyberground, there was barely anyone in the building. It was only really just Bomber.
Yeah, it was. I believe it was literally only just Bomber. I'm trying to remember where Shatter got taken out. It was almost just based off. It was before the 2-minute mark, so it was definitely outside of the building. Unless he'd managed to, rush White alone or something stupid like that. But I highly doubt it. So Bomber has made the distinction of being the only player to make it into the building alive. And then eventually dying, unfortunately. However, he made it in alive. Look at the lineup by Cyberground now. You see Bomber is on the Nomad again. He's taking that flank watch off of Sarks, and they've kind of traded places. Sarks going onto the sledge. I wonder how that's going to impact their attacks.
Well, the whole lineup, that's the thing with Bomber being a very hard support for the team. There's a lot of reliance on those top men and then the new boys to make sure that they show up today, which is a question mark. So it means that they have to play a very careful, very well strategy-focused game in general, which Ex-Cyberground can certainly do. The problem is that's their only real option if they don't step up in any other regard. And this map selection maybe doesn't benefit them too much in that regard, because Coastline, you can play it as much as you want, but sometimes it will just not go your way. Sometimes, even when you're having an absolute ball. First minute has gone, though, and players on the top floor. It's only one, but he's been pushed down already via pressure. Ground taken by Ex-Cyberground. Here they go.
Here they go. Vertical is being played, and just on your last point, I believe maybe it's because you have to learn the map less, so with two... what looks to be quick-fire roster changes here. And they're looking to play just less strategical maps as Shatter gets a kill onto Vowns. There is your Legion gone. Robbie taking out his counterpart in the other team. Robbie Tucson taking out Robbie on Cyberground there. As Sarks continues his quest to find some players and clear some shields out. He's trying to clear that shield by the B-bomb there, just in deep service as we just kind of wait for things to get happening. Shatter, a double kill on the Zofia, taking out Robbie there. That's it. Traded out as Robbie Tucson falls. But look, they have two other players up. That's Noodle and Steno. Noodle, what a shot! What a flick from him onto Shatter there in the middle of VIP as this round goes to a 3v3.
Incredible shot again from Noodle. He started on an absolute roll. He doesn't look like stopping just yet. LionsCreed 3-3 though. Still a long way to go, and the vertical presence bit too... Wait a sec, I thought Sarks had sealed that kill, but no, he backed away and went straight into the open arms of Noodle. Picks up another all the way across from the lobby stairs. Runners down 2. Only Bomber remaining. 1 versus 3. Yuck.
Yeah, yuck. To be honest, we talked about Bomber going on to Nomad. Nomad is, in my opinion, a better flank watch character than Zero, just because you can do more while she has her Nomads down. You don't have to hold the flanks as actively. However, they either got shot, impacted, or just straight avoided by LionsCreed there, as Noodle and Steno made top floor their home there. They just took their shoes off, felt pretty damn comfortable up in 90 as they proceeded to absolutely roll Cyberground.
Yeah, it's the story of this game so far. They've had an incredible start. What can Cyberground offer up in response? Well, they've only got 2 kills in total, and that's just on 1 player. It's that Zofia. 2 great shots, but it's not very promising at the beginning of this map. And recall, this is their pick, Ex-Cyberground. I'm a little bit surprised by this. They chose to start on the attack as well, originally. That's what we had the rehost for. So what do they have in store? What are they planning? Well, they've got to start enacting that pretty quickly.
They definitely have to start enacting that very quickly, because when it comes to a map like this, people can run far away from it if you let them. If you get to 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, if this goes to a 5-1 split, LionsCreed on attack, they're just going to run in and gun you.
Yeah.
So it doesn't appear good, but they can turn this around. It is still not too late at all. Like, they don't have to come back from anything. 2 more rounds and it's even, and then you're talking about possibly a 4-2 split from either side. But really, now's the time to start getting rounds on the board. You played them twice, you know what they're doing, and Steno knows what he's doing as he runs out on Shatter. Sark's getting a trade onto Noodle and the Jaeger there, just by Vase, as it's a soul for a soul here on Coastline. But to be honest, it almost feels like just not morality wise, but morale wise.
Yeah.
LionsCreed, yeah.
It's 2 people with the sharpest start so far this game for either team respectively, but LionsCreed have a lot still available, and a C4 is chucked from underneath, takes out Sarks on the verticals. Still players up there and even down below, they're collecting kills. Robbie is down by another Robbie. It's Robit, he gets 1, winning the Robbie Wars, but his teammate falling elsewhere. Verns, can he get the revive? He can, keeping that strong man advantage, but it does allow Bomber to move in. He's not going to take the chance, he just lingers in the doorway, and down he drops. The Roni takes him down. Runner again, another player isolated on the top floor, and before I can even hand it off to you, Ryan, the round's over again.
Dominance, yes.
Sponsored by Demantes.
Putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable here, as just, oh my lord, what is this is it seems pretty brittle.
The semi-final start that we expected is what it is.
Even when it was a 4-4, that run out is just so ballsy from Steno there. That chalks mental so fast. Shatter's not going to be happy that Steno's just flown out of a doorway that's half opened and then managed to escape unscathed. He's not going to be pleased about that, and that's going to reflect within the energy within that call.
And
so
he's hoping that that's an A in his name instead of an X.
Oh yeah. Oh
because
yeah.
he's potentially having one there with that run out from Steno. Anywho, of course, I'm talking about Shotter.
Yes.
Because he was shooting. But unfortunately
he
did
got
not
shot.
connect the shot.
Anyways, we're looking to go back towards Hookah Billiards. Or actually, no, Hookah Billiards for the first time. They were playing above pretty heavy. No. It's been 3 rounds already. They're going back towards Hookah. I'm actually losing track of rounds because they're going so fast.
It's rapid.
We didn't see any of this strategy previously because their strategy was just sit in a window and kill. So it looks like again another change when it comes to the lineup being very flexible as Ex-Cyberground here as runners now on the hard breach instead of Robbie, and Robbie proving his worth on that Yana has taken out Steno on a run out. He's not gonna let him do that again here. So it looks to be possibly an aqua push from Ex-Cyberground.
2 minutes 30 hits the clock, and thankfully for Ex-Cyberground, they haven't lost a man this time around, but they have indeed taken one themselves. It's Steno for them, which is a really, really good, promising start to this round. And they've already taken a lot of ground over across on the south side, looking to do a very traditional plant behind the bomb inside of Billiards, and hope that they haven't got the delay. Well, there's no smoke, and the smoke, it's changed, because he's been, I guess, nerfed coastline-wise, with the change to his gadget, so he's not as useful in this position anymore. Noodle, he's ever useful, finds a lovely pick, I believe, onto the roof, and he's not even done there, he's looking for a second.
He's having an absolute mad one here as he's just going absolutely ham and just having no fear whatsoever. Bomber nomading that reinforcement to make sure they can't pass without being air jabbed as Runner attempts to bait the C4s out. He's baited too! Well done from them. Smart plays. But now it's just a waiting game to see if they'll donate any picks. And Verns! He donates himself to Sarks but takes it himself. Shatter taking out Heavy. It's now down to a 3v3. However, Runner and Shatter are both on tiny amounts of help. It doesn't matter because Runner's taking out Noodle anyways. Robbie Tucson taking out Runner back on the trades. Bomber down as well. It's now down to Shatter in a 1v2. Low health. However, Bomber can still be picked up. He's in a relatively safe position. You back.
Oh, the right aggressive play from Verns could end the round right here at the funniest feeling. It's not going to happen. Yes, the revive does take place. Both such low health, they got to hit heads immediately. And these are the moments why you want Verns in your lineup. I was building him up. These are positions. These are the moments that he lives for as an ECS player. Robertson also in close support around the corner, ready. But thankfully, I mean, even the impacts could kill these two remaining players. And there's still 2 in the hands of Verns. Concussion's going to come out, isolate the position of the Mozzie. They know he's there. How are they going to take the fight? Well, they've lost the first. Verns swings. He's going for the second. Can he find it? All for Bomber to do. Sailing on in through the site. Oh, no. He's backed off again. He's just waiting. 1 versus 2. There's way too much to do in this situation. It's heroics or nothing from Bomber. He comes close to the bomb chassis, but nowhere near close to winning the round. It's always just too difficult. And despite the fact that it's a 2 versus 2 and it could just be a matter of pop for the win, I can't even see it happening this early in the game.
Oh no, this seems absolutely brutal. However, just looking at the bright side, that was closer for Ex-Cyberground. They had more to do there as they pushed our X site. They were close to getting the plant down, however, they just couldn't confirm it. Sark's getting taken out off that Hookah repel is very unfortunate. As really, in that situation, they were trying to wait for the man advantage, trying to see if they were going to donate any picks. However, Sarks did the absolute opposite and donated himself, which put Ex-Cyberground a man disadvantage and probably a positional disadvantage there, as they were just in one big kill box in Aqua there, with no ability to rotate or take any ground whatsoever and get themselves a foothold.
Change is now. Ex-Cyberground, you cannot continue this or this will be a map lost. A 5-0, way too much to come back from. 4, you can take it to the 4-2, no problem. You win it out on the defensive side. And this is a defensive side where I feel like they're very disadvantaged, LionsCreed, with the Mira not an option, Valkyrie not an option. Those are two pretty standard operators that you want to play here for a lot of reasons, and they're probably the best at their respective jobs in terms of delaying or putting pressure on towards certain areas, whether it's the Queen of Intel, Valkyrie. LionsCreed, they don't really have those great options. They've had to kind of make do with like the Mozzie and the like, and obviously, you know, you can see Robertson here. He's doing good work. He's managed to capture a drone. He's going to use that. But, it's always he's actually got another. I was about to say, yeah, you've got a low guarantee of having the same amount of intel impact as Valkyrie, but actually, he's just nabbing drone after drone.
Yeah, well, they're also quite relatively common bans, even just throughout the wider scope of competitive Rainbow Six. Usually you'll see Mira banned pretty consistently throughout all maps, and occasionally a Valkyrie is a secondary ban. As Robbie taking out Steno, I'm not sure where, oh, it was the kitchen window, I think. As there goes your advantage towards Cyberground here. They are now up 5 versus 4 when it comes to player count. But as I was saying, you know, usually if a strategy is made with a Valkyrie, they usually have a secondary op. So like, oh, if Valkyrie's banned, we'll switch to this. And usually you make pocket strats with Mira rather than full blown strategies. As Heavy blows up Runner here with the C4. There goes your hard breach. However, I believe it was either Sarks or Shatter gets a trade, and that's onto Noodle. I'm not sure where either. Maybe it was the flank, and now we see Robbie Tushin attempting the same thing. Does he know that Shatter's holding him currently in the corner? VIP, nope. He doesn't. That's a 4 versus 2 now. Heavy and Vrounds, the two supportive operators on this side, sitting inside. Actually, Heavy's in the lobby, considering either a run out or maybe to pressure up White or one of those vertical holes. He's just kind of waiting, and he doesn't know. Robbie, oh my god.
What a lovely shot from Robbie, leaving Verns all by his lonesome. Final blow dealt by Shatter, and finally Ex-Cyberground. They turn it around just when they need it. They get that first round against LionsCreed here in the semi-final. They're first today. They want to take it all the way to the final. They've looked absolutely impervious this season. There has been very, very little to shake them at all. And right now they look a very different team. Thankfully, they've put their foot in the proverbial door to stop that defeat slamming on closed. If they can nab one more, get that 4-2 here on Blue Bar and Sunrise, they will be that little bit closer. It could just be a flash in the pan, a moment that they will forget those first 4 rounds, and we'll see a very different Cyberground performance from here on, hopefully.
Play that again, play like that again, and we might actually have a close game on our hands. As they appear to have found their footing, found their groove, and are slowly starting to counter LionsCreed. They've finally played enough of them where they're like, right, okay, we know what they're gonna do. They're gonna do this. They're gonna, flank up here, and they're gonna play aggro and peek windows. We just gotta wait for them. We just gotta wait for them to walk into our hands, and it's free kills.
You think any of that's to do with the lineup switch that we've seen from Ex-Cyberground the last 2 rounds or so?
It could be. It's a lot harder, especially. It's a lot harder, especially on the attack, to have that kind of chemistry. It's also probably the reason why we've been brought to Coastline, because of how improv you can make your attack and defense strategies kind of on the fly within the pick phase, even. Especially if Sarks is there, he's their coach, strategical coach most likely, and we'll kind of know what he's doing here, so he can probably play that kind of active IGL role.
Well, they've also got the Twitch along, so she can figure out, well, she's actually locating the defenders' positions and giving the intel to the Zofia, I think. Actually, no, I believe that was elsewhere. She actually just took her own volition, took her first kill. Good stuff moving into the map, and Steno is down. So very good start again from Ex-Cyberground. Really starting to get the better of these entries as of late, which is very promising.
third time Steno's been entry picked within a row. The first round he was entry picked, it led to a win from LionsCreed, but the last two, it led to a win for Ex-CGG. Sarks damaged, tanked by a C4. He's on low health, but he's still in the fight as Robbie Tucson looks towards Hookah to go for a flank up Cool Vibes. Heavy throws out a C4, but nothing seen. Shatter get lowered to half health. Runner taking out the smoke on Burns, and he's in deep side. Bomber takes out one as well. They actually have blue control. One's in lobby, it's Heavy, and he's taking out Runner for the feet holes. However, Robbie Tucson is stuck with inside kitchen, and is just kind of waiting for the swing to come out. He's looking in one direction. However, Robbie is on the other side, and Heavy's flanking through the blue rotate. He's spotted by Shatter. Crouch swing comes up, but they don't know that Robbie Tucson's in kitchen. He's not looking in the right direction. However, it is a 1v3 and one window and one doorway to look through. Robbie gets him. Robbie wins the Robbie Wars again with a nade.
I mean, he wasn't winning it out earlier, but this time he's had a bit of a comeback. It's not that important to really mention, but just Robituson's movement there was just incredible. I don't know how he evades those bullets so brilliantly in those fights. He couldn't evade the nade at the very end, but in general, just the gunfighting micro positioning, it's the sort of thing that LionsCreed have really enjoyed so far. But we've had that exact comeback that any ex-Cyberground fans or friends or family will be very, very happy about.
Supporters.
We've got a 4-2 split. Yes.
So, yes, and with that 4-2 split, we get a side change. As now we have LionsCreed attempt to attack that Glass gets 6-pick out of. They're showing it, maybe they'll run the Glass on, a service push, quite possibly on that rappel. However, they have opted to go for the Hibana instead with Verns. As we move to, I'm not sure, I did not check the site because I am a terrible, horrendous caster. And now we are stuck in a loading screen as Bomber has disconnected and the server was trying to process that. As now, good entry as let's just pretend that Bomber attempted to spawn peek and LionsCreed shut them down without him doing any damage to them, as that is basically what has happened, or it might as well be, because he's disconned and he's not coming back, at least not till the next round.
Yeah, that's pretty rough for Cyberground. Thankfully, they have been pretty good at those entries, so if they keep that up, they might be able to equalize the score nice and early, but poor disadvantage to really start with. They're going to play on it anyway. What have they got lined up on the defense? They must have brought us here for a reason. They've been showing it somewhat towards the end of those attacks, really piecing it well together as kind of two gangs. They liked having like two little clumps of players with one kind of connecting element.
He was running the Invitational, either 2020 or 2021 skin for Mozzie. He was just getting some reinforcements and his utility down and then proceeded to blow himself up. So that's another spawn peak for LionsCreed as they are doing brilliant on the entry here. As the universe obviously wants them to win their first attack round. However, Robbie, Runner, and Sarks still in the game as it looks to be a full hookup push from the side of LionsCreed.
I know their strat book was fantastic, with "we win" written in the middle of a pretty much blank Word document.
Apparently the universe agrees.
Yeah, having everybody else on the other team disconnect or kill themselves before the round starts. Also not really in the plans, but I guess they'll take it. It's under the same umbrella of winning, and it's continued. Steno gets his first. Second. Sarks is down. Two very long peaks. He's not even done yet. He's going for the full. He's going to try and get all of them. Runner, he shuts down one of the men. 4 more to find. He's just running around the site like a headless chicken. And now he's a headless legion.
Winning by the opposition disappearing or killing themselves. A very Putin-esque way to win there, as we have our players returning and hopefully... I believe it was Shatter, doesn't use one of those skins again and doesn't touch Mozzie. Yep, he's going on to the Jaeger as Robbie takes his turn on the Mozzie and Bomber has returned. Let's hope.
Yeah, let's hope he's sorted that out. or will just be swapping roles a bit. I mean, they had that flexibility within the lineup. LionsCreed certainly do as well. Obviously, that round was kind of gifted to them. There's not really much strategic-wise to comment about. That round was pretty much given to LionsCreed, but it does make a big difference. I mean, we scan over that Word document of LionsCreed's tactics today and the plan. It's pretty much according to that. They're doing a very good job with it.
Doing a remarkable job with it. As LionsCreed are now 5-2 up. This is Matt Point. As we have actually got breaking news. LionsCreed stratbook has been leaked. Everybody get your screenshots ready, as this is revolutionary and it will change the face of the Siege meta.
Take your notes for the final. Oh, that's a big one-up for Manic and Jaegers.
Both the Manic and Jaegers coaches are screaming as now they can fully counter-strat LionsCreed. However, it'll be remarkably difficult, as these are revolutionary new strategies and are very hard to be counted as they've never been seen before.
Thank you very much, Shiro.
Thank you for Shiro. That was Evac's request as a little bit. So very, very big thanks to Shiro there. Yeah. Anyways, now it is map point here, because if they win this, they head to 6-2, and if they win the next one, they win the first map, placing them 1-1 within this series.
Yeah, getting onto that match point will be a huge difference maker here, LionsCreed. Just mental-wise, like, making sure that their opposition are quite worried. They will be already ex-Cyberground, given that start. Now they're a bit more comfortable on the defensive side, I assume, given what we've seen so far today. A little bit defender-sided. Wait and see if that's true for ex-Cyberground as well. Sarks, he's trying to impose himself, but he just gets floored by Steno, who, again, just sitting on ruins, finds his third kill doing that job. And Noodles found one more.
Yeah, that second kill there was Noodle. Also with the ARX, so it can be quite confusing, as he is currently sitting on that big window. Repel, not anymore. Shatters him, and there goes Nomad. Now looking for Steno on ruins. That is a risky game to play, as it is very, very easy to hide within covers on ruins. However, you have to peek the open big window there, and really put yourself at a disadvantage if you're trying to peek that, as the round kind of dies down just a wee bit there. And as I say that, Shatter gets a second on the round, taking out Robbie Titian on the Zofia. He's looking for his third, maybe the down, stolen by Robbie, or it was Robbie's kill. I can't quite tell. Oh, wow. That's a second for Robbie. Shatter gets downed. 1v2/1v3 for Steno now.
It's going to be a tricky revive as well, that throwable from Steno still remaining. And the throwables from the defensive side not working out, as C4 missed by Robbie, giving his position away as well. Steno's got to remember to press F. It's been a little while. And he's going to fake out the Iana Gemini, but nobody is falling for those tricks. Shatter finds another. It's a triple for the round. That was one of the most ranked rounds I've seen of Coastline in quite some time in ECS. Just people going for peaks everywhere, not getting into the building, just a bit of chaos. And if ex-Cyberground, they'll be quite comfortable if that is the game that they're playing, because they're struggling to win on much else right now.
They are. And they are definitely struggling to win on something else. However, it is Coastline, it's a bit more ranked, it's very difficult to catch comparative to other maps, because you can't talk about overarching strategies, which is kind of what I like to talk about.
Ryan, you can't afford to complain. Cairo is here observing this today.
Cairo is observing.
Absolute chaos. And he's doing a very good job. He's keeping me up to scratch with what's going on.
He's doing his absolute best as chaos happens all throughout the maps, and so does gunfights, as you can really do everything from everywhere once you're inside the building, and even outside the building. It's really, really hard to observe, I would assume. I have never tried observing, but, just based off assumption. Thank you, Carol, for being here.
I'm going to assume some things as well. I'm thinking of quite a spread setup here from Ex-Cyberground. Lots of roaming players potentially, with a lot of set and forget utility within the site, which means they have that flexibility to keep the smoke and maybe one or two others around near the site, and then extend across the board. No problem, Cairo.
This is a run out or a spawn peek.
We like you as a friend.
Cairo's just been friend zone. Nice.
Oh wait, no, Robitussin is there, potentially to be peaked. There's a lot more players out on the opposite side, though, of a main entrance.
Bomber's out for maybe a hookah run out there, as Robitussin knows that's a direct ping. Bomber drone, Bomber knows as well, and now he's running. They all know, apparently, as he falls back down towards Shatter on the entry, taking out Noodle. There goes your Nomad again. He is now 2-0 on this half for taking out Noodle in certain locations. So well done there. As this is this is a slower round.
Yeah, the East hold working a bit better than the West so far. A lot of players backing off out of that position, even though it's only Robert out there in that position. But it is. I'm usually fine when it's just Robitussin by himself, but when there's a Robbie on the other team,
you can say like Robbie or something, but it's really difficult now. God damn these rosters! I'm kidding. As Robitussin is getting ran out on from every direction. Shot from Sunrise, jumped out on from Hookah. There he goes, Shatter, going absolutely insane as he is now 12-1 and 6 on the defense half, but Steno sees him, and he takes him down. It's now a 3 versus 4.
He just wants to be ahead of him in KD. He's got to the 2 himself and pushed Shatter ever so slightly off it for the moment. But having a brilliant game, both of them. I'm not... Maybe Shatter is Superstar, because they got a very similar play style, and he was on the roster, so maybe we're not quite up to date on that. But Bomber, he sweeps around, finds one. Robbie's got one as well. On top of that, double Roni. Make that a triple Roni, and a triple fall for LionsCreed. Great play by Ex-Cyberground, really asserting themselves, really just enjoying their defensive side, going aggressive, not letting LionsCreed in, and when they do come in late and isolated in weaker positions, they absolutely smack it.
Yeah, they definitely, absolutely smack it, as they've played remarkably aggressive. If Shatter is Superstar, or if he isn't, he's definitely playing like a Superstar here, as he's been consistently one of the top performers for Cyberground in this series so far. Round 10, slight advantage to LionsCreed. However, Cyberground are trailing just ever so slightly behind, hot in their tails, and currently have a bit of momentum going. As one more round, and it is tied up 5-5 here.
Dear, oh dear. What is this game so far? It's very, very tough to tell what's
I believe
going on.
Bomber's disconnected again.
It's been a bit chaotic, but oh dear me.
Yep, there he goes.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, that's a really poor thing for Ex-Cyberground right now, because they've already given away a round earlier on with a disconnect and a suicide via that was a skin, wasn't it?
It was
earlier.
Shatter playing Mozzie with the Brazilian skin from, I believe, last year's Invitational. Robbie saying, his game's crashed again. He guesses.
This could be a huge problem for Ex-Cyberground. I mean, not just for this map entirely, because LionsCreed, they could be pushed on to overtime. Of course, like, they've still got 4 players to deal with. It's still a big difference, but it is a dent in their chances. It's not great.
Did go big last round. He did go fairly big on that Mozzie there. And
he's not the fragger you expect on the team by any means, but it's still very impactful.
But as of right now, you know, it's really all down to Robbie and Shatter, because as much as, as a caster, I hate to say it, as of right now, and it could change within a round's time, Sarks and Runner aren't doing best just KD wise, and this map is really all about kill performance. Objective is hard to play, doable but hard to play, and especially on defense, you're more likely to play those areas. However, Sarks is in one of those positions where actually it doesn't matter too much because you're in such a dangerous position, and as long as you can hold them off for long enough. Is this a run out by Robbie? No. He's been shot at from ruins here, and has decided to come off it. Okay, Robbie, I see you. He takes out Steno, who has an ACOG in his ARX, and he's using his dinky little Razor hollow sight there. Wow.
Oh, but Robbie's straight back down. When he tries to move away, Noodle is there to lap it up with the AK-74M, but he's on low health in return, so it's going to be that much tougher to push on in. He's taken down nice and early, could be a good start, but it's Sarks falling on the smoke. There's very little to delay. Runner is the one standing back. He's been a bit of a missing element today for the team, but he's here when his team needs it. He's going for a long C4, doesn't get anything for it. Noodle is now still down. Revive's not going to happen. Runner, he's down. Robinson finds his third for the round. 2 straight in a row at the end to take them on to match point. Ex-Cyberground so close there to holding on, but they just couldn't. And LionsCreed move one step closer, as we likely are just going to wait a moment for our boy Bomber to come back in and try and save things for his team.
Pause is brought out from our wonderful observer Cairo as we wait for Bomber to return here. He's been performing quite well. However, he's missed 2 rounds already.
I love this round history thing that we can see now.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's been no plants.
Absolutely no plants. Yep. It's all been kills, and that is really just the way of Coastline, to be honest.
Yeah.
We can
see though the fact that LionsCreed, the rounds that they've been handed, well, they've not quite been handed, but have been given a big advantage on with the dropouts of Bomber, have been the ones that they've won. But other than that, when there's a full lineup for Ex-Cyberground on the defense, they've looked pretty decent as well, and they were getting a bit of a mood together on the attacking side. So it's all still within the realms of possibility. They're 2 rounds behind. They win those 2 on the defense. They push themselves for it, take it to overtime. And I'm not sure what the split's like then, but it could well favor them. They could be in a good position to try and take this map still.
We are returning to our lovely faces, part 2.
Oh no.
As, dangerous, isn't it? As we wait for Bomber to return. You know what? I have a good idea. Just as a wait for Bomber to return wee bit. Can we? I think we should go in for a deep analysis of the LionsCreed strat book.
Oh.
just an in-depth analysis of the line. Are we able to pull it up? Are we able to cue that? Just I think it's really interesting for all the viewers at home to witness and see, and just to kind of run down the complications of it. I think
I'm worried that this might break some sort of ECS rule. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, there it is. I believe it. I think we can add another bit to this, which is Bomber disconnects. Yeah, as looking at the LionsCreed strat book here, it is really working out. They're 6-4 up. They're winning. So,
I like the font.
Certainly. Definitely helps out their win condition, that font.
They spent so long on
setting
this up.
The strat book is remarkably intricate.
I love it.
It is working out really, really well for them in their favour, as they are currently 6-4 up. Match point. 2 rounds of regulation left, though. Bomber disconnects. There it is. It's been revealed. Everybody, if there's a roster that doesn't have Bomber on it, make sure he's in your game and he disconnects at one point or another. He doesn't disconnect at one point or another. Just keep him out your game. If Bomber doesn't disconnect, LionsCreed don't win. Simple as that.
Ooh. Well, it might just be that narrow in terms of the margins. I mean, this is one of those maps where, you have that extra kill, you have that kind of refrag potential, you can basically just sit on that and go through and win. You just support your men, keep moving through. If you got one man advantage, you win by default. That's how it works. That's maths, isn't it? I've heard.
I don't ask me. I got a C. But yeah.
No
honestly,
comment.
it is just It does seem that LionsCreed seems to be winning on the entry picks, whether they are, from just the siege gods or from gunning them. As the couple rounds they've won, it has been off entry pick. Really.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely helped them out, and just having that little bit of an edge just helps a team win. And LionsCreed, they've taken it when they've had it. So have their opposition. So there's not too much more to go off than that. And the individual plays have been brilliant. They are from players we all expect to see them coming from. There's no real surprise with that. But at the moment, there haven't been any big clutch moments or kind of turnarounds from individual players. When something has started, when a trend has begun during a round so far today, it's continued, generally. If you get off to a good start and you keep going, it doesn't stop. Which is very Coastline. It's very LionsCreed in particular. But it's not the sort of game that either of the Ex-Cyberground definitely have had this season, because Rewind is why we haven't mentioned it so far. Obviously, these guys were in the same divisional season. I hear you asking in my head of heads, what was the result when they played each other early in the season? Well, they didn't, because LionsCreed forfeited it, so...
Nice.
Maybe they knew. Maybe they knew they were going to get
here.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, look! Bomber's back! Woo!
Hey, well, that's a big dent in LionsCreed's, at least the second part of their plan, but they'll still have the first, so hopefully still reliable. All they need, 1 round win before Ex-Cyberground can get there too. Not too tough an ask, as with the attacking side and with the bans in their favor somewhat, you imagine LionsCreed could try and take it. They've got the best opportunity now. Let's not let this go. Whee!
Hits the skybox, ends up falling directly down because it hit the skybox. Very unfortunate for them. Shatter taking out Verns. He's back on his old antics as the question marks come out. Just a bit of toxicity. Verns repeating a question mark. I'm now play-by-playing all chat, ladies and gentlemen. New role, all chat caster, Ryan here, hello. Anyways, it appears to be a hooker billiards attack with a below extension here, as LionsCreed are now in a 4 versus 5. Yeah, that advantage already taken by Ex-Cyberground. It has been one of the big difference makers. It's not much to rest on at this point. They've still got to do a good job and fight their way back. Even this round is not comfortable. None of this is comfortable for the defensive side. Robbie, particularly uncomfortable in that position. He doesn't want to sit there for very long. He tries to move out and is out of play. He is out of play. And there goes Mozzie. However, that is fire and forget utility aside from that C4, which is pretty valuable, I might add. However, he's still got 3 pests that they need to deal with. Heavy sitting on the roof, cutting off those rotations, especially runner's rotation here, as he can't get towards billiards or towards long at all here. Bomber looking for a pixel angle on big window. I thought he got that kill for a second as the kill feed lights up, but Heavy taking out Shatter. He's now been shut down as Heavy throws a nade towards Co-Vibes, looking to rat out anyone sitting in that pretty valuable position.
Ryan, you look at the kills though. Damn it, he's just removed them. Kyra, I think Kyra's hearing us 3 minutes late as well.
Oh, no,
it's back. Quickly, we can see the fact that it's the impact players that have been taken out by LionsCreed at the moment. Only the lower fragging players are remaining, and not many of them either. Thankfully, Bomber is there to get the refrag, but Steno, Robit, they get 1 apiece. And the game, well, the first map at the very least, in the hands of LionsCreed. And this is the map we said at the very start they had to win, very importantly, if they have a good chance, and they did it by golly.
Scoreline looking fairly even. That's a decent loss there. Like, it's not particularly dominant. It just and it's not particularly close. It's in that bracket of just it's a loss. So, and to go from, 4-0 down to 7-4 win, that's pretty good. However, LionsCreed had their number that entire game.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well for me at all. You're going down that 4-0. It was hopeless, that situation. They really didn't put up much of a fight. Then they did, but it wasn't the most convincing effort. They never quite showed the domination themselves at all when they tried to come back. So very unfortunate for them. Map 1 in the hands of LionsCreed. They take their first step of 2 in towards the semi-final. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's Cyberground's job to maybe remove that foot or put their own foot in as we go to the next map, which will be Cafe. That's going to be a really tough one to call, but if we had any inclination, LionsCreed seem up for it today, so it's going to be a very, very dramatic one. We'll see you back in a few minutes, just about a 3-minute break, and then we will be back in for that map. So see you in a sec. Welcome back. I'm Evac. We've got Ryan alongside me today. We've got LionsCreed versus Ex-Cyberground. Map 1, Coastline. Let's go over. Oh wait, LionsCreed have won it already, and they absolutely dominated. It was lightning quick, except for the rehosts and pauses and things.
The rehost pauses and the comeback from Cyberground. I do want to point that out, because it was, they lost it, but they didn't get 7-2'd.
Good job. No, I expect more. I expect more. That is why I'm being a little bit harsh, because they've shown us this season.
You've seen them play it. However, we're moving on to Cafe. It's a lot less frag heavy. It's a lot more ingrained in those mini games. So we will definitely see possibly a resurgence in Cyberground. I'm hoping a resurgence because I'm completely unbiased. All I want to see is 3 maps because I get to cast 3 maps, and that's always more tense and more exciting and more fun as a caster. So I'm completely selfish in my biases.
Of course. Well, this is going to be a great cafe either way. I feel like this will be a lot more contested in general. It won't be as chaotic as Coastline was, which will be less of a favor towards LionsCreed, but at the same time, it's going to come down to Ex-Cyberground making sure that they can roam clear on their attacks, because LionsCreed are a menace if they're sneaking around on the top floor or whatever. I'm expecting Rabitison and Verns to, in particular, depending on what roles they're playing within this very changing lineup, I think Rabitison could make the bigger difference here on Cafe. It's going to be very important to make sure that any extension defensive side is worked out. I don't know who's starting out on what side, but that's already very important.
Well, as much as we say Cafe's a lot more strategic, you've still got those jump outs. You've still got tons of jump outs, tons of window plays, tons of ability to play incredibly aggressive for LionsCreed.
Well, that is the work of the ban phase, as to try and discourage somewhat. Will Ex-Cyberground be clever about that and ban out the operators who could aid LionsCreed's playstyle? Remove
Valkyrie, or they're trolling. Just there's no way they, are they on? I don't know what sides
LionsCreed attack.
Right, LionsCreed attack. Maybe if they slam shatter on the Valkyrie and run it constantly and always go for those runouts. That's the only way that not banning Valkyrie would be a good idea for them.
It's going to come down to a lot of the bans, and it does a lot of the time. I feel like sometimes if you're just going for standard, and then maybe there's one in there that's different, sure. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of the teams, the higher up you go, will be more and more aware of the fact that you can just shape the game. You can shape the map that you're playing by just mixing up the ban phase. If your opposition goes for something standard and you're sure that they might do that, use that as a guarantor and then bring out your own playstyle. Ban out the 2 operators who might influence something slightly in a way that maybe they haven't prepared for as much. So you are ready to do whatever you want, because they can't stop you from banning an operator. There's no ban like there is with map bans. Yeah, there's no veto system.
Yeah, there is no veto system, and like you said, it makes it incredibly easy to influence those maps. So I just wonder, how do you think each team is going to kind of want to operate within this map? Who's going to want to play passive? Who's going to want to play aggressive? Are we going to see both teams go for a more strategical approach? Or,
No.
What's going to happen?
They're both going aggro. They're going quick. They're going efficient. And a little bit backs to the wall style from both of them. And
Lashing it.
That does probably help LionsCreed a tiny bit, but it's what you need spirit-wise for Ex-Cyberground, because they need to go in with this kind of bravado and have it work.
They need
for them to have the belief.
Certainly, they definitely need one of their players to go, look, I know we lost that last map, but we got to pick it up. The game's not over yet, and if we think it's over, we may as well not be here. So someone in the team needs to step up. I'm guessing Sarx, again, you've mentioned he's their coach. So that might be who, has that emotional talk, but it could be anyone from that roster. But I do hope it's someone just kind of replenishing that mental on the side of Cyberground.
I feel like the way that the maps are playing out, they're getting slower and slower as it goes on, in playstyle at least. We've got Crazy, Coastline, Cafe, and then Clubhouse at the very end will be the decider, in case you missed that earlier. So it does start to favor Cyberground a bit more, and Cyberground are one of the best teams around at Clubhouse, and they will really challenge their opposition if they do take them there. I mean, that's their goal. They have to take them there if their prerogative is to win. You imagine it is today. It'd be such a disappointment for them to whimper out, especially in a 2-0. That would be a horrible situation for them. You'd hope that's not the case. It still might be. LionsCreed have something to say. Well, they just stomp all the major teams all the way through. They 2-0'd. The only team they've lost a map to so far in the playoffs was Humble. And then 2-0 Revenge from Majors, 2-0 Arctic, currently 1-0 up here in the semis. They are really asserting themselves here.
By that logic, Contenders is better than Majors.
I mean,
just because Humble brought it incredibly. Humble are very deserving of a major spot.
Proximity are in there, so.
Yeah, no.
Samayoto. No, sorry, Karen.
No, I honestly that might be just if we want to talk about that for a second, that might be the work of familiarity. You know, they've played Revenge, they've played Arctic before, they've certainly probably scrimmed them. Countless times. Teams like MSC, Humble Academy, the teams that made Contenders and the playoff spots from Contenders, maybe they've played a little less. So that might be the idea from that. However, Cafe, I'm interested to see where it's going. We're still waiting for some players to get in the lobby. Please get in the lobby. Please, I beg. I want to cast Cafe, man. Because I am
bomber problems.
I'm bomber problems. We do love a bit of bombers. As I'm really excited to continue with this cast.
Yeah, it's gonna be very exciting. Let's talk about Clubhouse then, because we're building up Cafe. Of course, we might not go there. We might not even get there in the first place. But say Cyberground, via whether it's overtime, whether it's an absolute 7-0 stomp that comes out of nowhere, that's completely unanticipated. Either way, we're going to a Clubhouse, and that's going to be crazy. Bomber is in the lobby. We're actually waiting for somebody else. So nice. a nice switch for that. But Clubhouse, when we get there, whatever the situation it took to get there, I still feel like that's going to just be its own isolated kind of bubble of a map.
Yeah, as I said earlier, the map is so solved where it is just who has the better fundamentals on the day, and if we're taking Coastline as a metric for that, it's LionsCreed. Right now, they just seem more together. That's really what I'm talking about with fundamentals, working together, that teamwork, that strategy, because everyone knows what they're doing on Clubhouse. They played it in ranked, they played it in scrims countless times. It's probably one of the first maps you play when either trialing players or starting a new project. So everyone has got tons of competitive experience on it. So it is just who is...
I have competitive experience on it.
Even eBay has competitive experience on it. Which means that, it is very much your meat and potatoes of competitive Rainbow Six.
6 kills in Bandit League.
Yeah, get in.
All with Clash.
You'll have more competitive experience come the qualifiers with you and your super team.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot. I need to start putting that together. We'll see. To be fair, one of those players might be heavy, so we'll have to wait and see for when the qualifiers are. You're also invited, but you'll be playing, won't you? You might be playing against us.
I will probably be playing against you guys, which is very, very, very sad. I will have to take qualifier elo. That is very, very sad to hear, but an inevitability, really. As I'm very excited to play you.
Everybody's got to practice their anti-clash strats. We are a clash team.
That is the first thing. We're banning clash just immediately. Just to
not allowed.
ruin your mental.
All right, Clubhouse.
Ruin your mental.
Clubhouse, though.
Clubhouse.
Somewhere where Clash is very influential, and we might see. What
Especially
are we...
in that
Actually,
basement.
No.
Oh,
let's go...
that's a scene transition, is it? No.
Wait, I thought that was to the game.
Please? Yes!
Yay!
Get in!
Cafe!
Get in!
Oh.
Cafe ban phase. Woo! Cyberground
cold-
starting on the defense. LionsCreed on the attack. Let's see what ban comes out first. It's Cyberground. Coming out with probably a Thatcher.
I'm gonna say the cold breeze of Moscow's never felt so warm to me.
Yes.
Here we are, lovely Cafe Dostoevsky. Thatcher standard. We spoke about how you can change around an entire map just by going slightly more inventive with your picks, and LionsCreed, they're afforded that. With the Thatcher gone, they could go for a second hard breach. They could bring out a Mav and just make it difficult. Or, I mean, they're saying it's Blackbeard, so I guess that's what they're going for. There we go.
They will,
Another
in
Blackbeard.
fact, be banning Blackbeard.
And it worked out for them last time. They didn't have to deal with any of that on their defense. And it allowed them to go aggressive. But it does mean Nomad is 100% on the attacking lineup for LionsCreed.
Yes, it does mean Nomad is viable. And she's so strong on Cafe. You can cut off those stairwells and those rotations so well with her air jabs. Kaid getting removed here now. He's also very, very strong, especially when Thatcher is not on the board. You know, you can place them under walls and they can electrify them through floors and ceilings, which is very, very vital to have, because if you spend your time trying to look for it, you know, say you've kited off red walls or bathroom walls, you know, you might see that they'll try and like nade it off and then they'll realize, oh, it's below. Now we have to take a bunch of this ground. Mira getting removed as well. She's so strong on those top floor sites, reading and cocktail. You know, she can be played in that like top white area, open up all the walls, and now, you know, cigar lounge is just your massive. Cigar is just a massive killing zone there.
It is anyway, regardless of what you do against these two teams in particular. They will dominate it brilliantly. But it does mean also, you know, Clash Man, you can use her there in that position as well. What's happening with Emma? She's not here. Anyway, yeah, cool. Right, barreling on in. We're starting with Bar and Cocktail. LionsCreed picking away from that IQ and bringing a sledge. Nothing Noodles. I need to ignore this chat. These guys are too funny. But Ex-Cyberground, I was debating, maybe will they bring that Valkyrie along, or kind of that mirror balance? They've decided to opt with the Valkyrie, but both Valkyrie and Nomad allowed, and they're going to bring her along as well. Runner, maybe with that Valkyrie, can have a more impactful game, because he wasn't really that apparent. He wasn't there. He never fully showed up on that first map, and given statistic-wise, he is almost #1 for everything, alongside Robbie. It really surprised me that we didn't see him step up a bit better.
So, it looks like Superstar's here. On the Melusi.
Oh, yeah.
So,
who did he swap for?
He swapped for...
Sarks.
Sarks, yes, Sarks. He swapped for Sarks, and now he has appeared. There's more fragging potential, and there goes Robbie Tushin. Oh, okay, that's a brilliant way to enter into the map. Wiggle, Robbie, wiggle, as he's trying to get towards that truck to keep himself alive.
Was that Superstar going for that peak? I believe it was.
I think it was him or Robbie there.
Yeah.
As Robbie, I was about to say Robbie does have the ability to use that 1.5, but he's actually using the little Razor Hollow. But I think it might have been Superstar kind of entering with a bang. Steno's going to pick up his friend, and now the round's going to get further underway.
Well, this change of lineup, just swapping in the coach for one of the main players this season who's made a big impact, that's something we could have spent quite a while talking about in the prep. We're not going to have the time to really go through it. We're just going to have to see it in action. He is so great on Cafe. We've seen it already numerous times this season. Superstar has been very, very impactful. Averaged about 1.4 KD when he's been in this season. And that is not even stating his impact plays. Robbie, looking a bit ropey on very low health, and he's going to back away from that position as the breach takes place. Noodle trying to assert himself, moving towards Pixel spot already.
Both Robbies are actually on low health here, as they've started a new iteration of the Robbie Wars as Noodle is slowly looking towards Shatter to see if he can get some Robbie. C4 straight onto that mini location as he takes out Noodle himself. The Fusey gets dropped cold on the ground. Just as a bit of safekeeping, Superstar just moving in towards Shop. He's looking to play aggro on whoever's in there. It's Robbie Tucson, and he's been taken out. Runner takes out Steno. It's now a 5 versus 2. Oh, wow. It looks like the round has already been cleared, but that's if Heavy and Ferns can't do anything.
Teammates.
Heavy's been...
Oh, Bomber threw it away right at the end. He had the chance as well on the smoke, but Runner steps up and seals it. How impactful. I mean, this just a simple one-player change. It's changed how I'm viewing Ex-Cyberground's chances right now, because they're a three-pronged team right now. I mean, three at the very least. I mean, Shatter's been fantastic on top of that. So they're back to their best, I think, Ex-Cyberground. They're a very different team in general. Great position to be in. And LionsCreed, they've got a fight now. They're a round down. It's the first time today they've not been ahead. So it's already going to be a tough move for them. They've got to find their way back into this game on the attacking side. Taking away, unfortunately, from that Monty towards the Maverick. And a bit more standard here on... did I see a kitchen defense? I'm pretty sure I saw a kitchen defense.
Yeah. You might have seen a kitchen defense. Yep. Standard is one way to put it, just based off the operator lineup. It is remarkably flexible here, as it will most likely be a triple roam coming out from Cyberground. Just based off, you know, Mozzie, you see the Legion, the Valkyrie, and the Jaeger come out. You know, you don't see anything kind of towards looking, you know, you don't see any smokes, you don't see any shields. Yeah, no.
Thank you, Noodle, for explaining that to us.
What did he say? I wasn't looking.
He just put OFC and then put in brackets, of course, in case we didn't understand. Just, you know, making sure that everybody understands. He'd be a good caster.
He would be. He would be a remarkably good caster.
We should get him in for the final once he loses this game. Anyway, Ex-Cyberground. So LionsCreed, they're still in great stead. They are currently up a map. I take that back immediately. Just a joke.
No, you don't. Anyways, here we go.
I like Noodle. He plays Clash.
Oh, does he? Wow.
Yeah.
Right, so Noodle now has eBack support behind him as... We're looking into the first 10 seconds within the round. Steno is sitting somewhere. He's sitting by main door, looking to cut off rotates, I believe. Shatter just progressively moving himself down towards...
I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing right now. Steno is sitting somewhere.
Steno is sitting somewhere, and Heavy's sitting.
Heavy has a gun at levels of commentary here. But Shatter gets the better of Heavy. He doesn't have a gun. He doesn't have a life. Robinson's lost his as well. No Superstar steps up. Everybody's following suit. And it's just Vern stuck there with his little briefcase. It drops to the ground. Robbie gets the kill. Business as usual for Ex-Cyberground. What on earth have we seen at the start of this game? It's the complete opposite of Coastline.
Cyberground have guns. Yep.
Not again. Not again.
That's all I have to say for that. Come on. See, like they've absolutely slammed LionsCreed into the ground here twice over. They are feeling themselves. Superstars come in with confidence. You know, he didn't lose last map. The rest of the team did, but he's feeling fresh. You know, he's coming in, he's going, oh, look, I'm Superstar. I've performed incredibly well throughout this entire season. I'm ready to win against LionsCreed. Everyone in Cyberground has gone, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, Superstar. And they proceeded to win 2 rounds against LionsCreed. Now can they win the third? That is the question.
Well, they're attacking over on Reading this time around. Reading and Mining will be the second floor location Ex-Cyberground attempting to defend this time around. Their lineup very spread, giving them a lot of flexibility to do whatever it is they please. You can say that for both teams right now. Imagine LionsCreed, they'd be going for the top down, but it's on these... I feel like this site is often... it's a big indicator of how a team is thinking, especially on the attacking side, and how they're feeling. It really does show, because teams who go direct and, you know, you can sneak off and through mining or come from underneath and do a bit of a quick play, maybe take pillars, or whether they'll just drop red and do a typical push across the top. Obviously, that can still work, and LionsCreed are very good at it, but it really can show how well and how clicking a team are in general. And
oh, that's another kill. Robbie on that bottom floor double window. He's let two past. Is this a run out? Maybe. They don't even know he's there. Have they heard his visual scan? They're looking towards the window. Maybe they have. He's looking for it, but no. He's decided against it. He's shot. Oh, maybe he's going for a bait. Nope, no run out.
He heard
no
the
run
rappel.
out.
He's just trying to scare them, I think.
He knows they turned around to look at him. Yeah, and he's in incredibly low health. It's the smarter choice, in my opinion. He's already got one kill. May as well just play back, play passive, and look to see if you can retain that advantage rather than gambling, looking for more, and possibly failing.
Go be a sneaky snake. Do some visually stuff. Runner! He gets the better of Steno. Appears as if from nowhere. Robbie is down by the skylight. Not sure if he was taken down by Steno, Verns in that position. Revive could take... It looks like it will. Yes, Bomber comes along. Gets him up. Shatter elsewhere. Taking one. Runner! He's just getting... He's getting killed. He's finding a second as his teammate gets one. Again, is this going to be a double flawless here?
I honestly, for the sake of the game, hope so. No, Heavy has his gun up and has taken Robbie out, and he's taking Runner out, actually, as they're all peeking him here, but he doesn't quite see the guys sitting in Cigar Lounge. Now he's taking out Superstar. He's taking it back. Triple kill on the round. He spots out the punch holes from the Jaeger of Shatter, and now he's rotating under, trying to see if he can get any kills on the stairs. Shatter! Oh my! What?
Plant.
He's just taking it down. There is no way this has actually happened. Bomber's in full health. Heavy's on basically zero, though. So it's whether that SMG... Oh my god! That is a Heavy 1v5 in the ace! The AK-12 sings! What? What just happened?
Heavy moment right there in the semi-final.
Check his PC! Check his PC! Moss! Right now! Come on!
Ex-Cyberground, they gave him a little bit of the inclination. They went, oh, come on, you know, we'll go aggro on the hatch. Could they get the flawless? They probably could in that situation if they played it smart, but they looked absolutely dumbfounded by that move. I mean, Shiro, thank God for audio compressor. I mean, that makes sense. We're going absolutely nuts. Heavy, take a bow.
That's just happened.
The MVP from the grand final last season steps up when his team needs it. 2 rounds down, 5 men down, looking at a 3-0 deficit. Those are the moments where big players turn around and make an impact. Somewhat gifted, the first couple still have to be taken, and then in the 3 versus 1 that wasn't as free, blasts on in, takes down the 2 remaining men. Incredible play.
I'm just shocked.
Tweet,
Cyberground,
Heavy moment, follow Heavy on Twitter.
Yep, follow
do it now.
I believe it's Heavy R6. Follow him right now. This man, he's just done that as well. Like that has actually happened. Like I was sitting there waiting. I was like, okay, right, Heavy. The round's gonna die down. I can hand off to Ebac, and Ebac can do his analytics stuff.
Yeah.
And it'll be all okay. And the Heavy gets another kill. Oh, looks like I'm gonna have to keep casting. Describe what he's doing now. Oh, Heavy gets another kill. Heavy's won it.
At Heavy R6. I'm sure that'll be part of their plan in general, LionsCreed. There's probably some invisible ink kind of text or some white text with hashtag Heavy moment as their third point. It
shows up. It shows up when it's done. So first we had we win, and then we had Bomber disconnecting, and then we have Heavy wins.
Oh my.
Yeah, just oh my. What is just happened?
Cafe has been blown wide open, as has the wall at the top of Red Stairs, as the LionsCreed already make their ingress towards Cigar. But they've got a Jaeger lying in wait. It's Shatter, who has been, I mean, I was going to say somewhat lethal, but no, entirely lethal. He's as lethal as it gets so far today.
Maybe not as lethal as Heavy, though.
Yeah, maybe quite not as much. We'll have to see, though. The rest of the round to go. Ex-Cyberground still have that advantage. And LionsCreed, despite Heavy being incredible, haven't stepped up so far today. Verns is the only other person with a kill at the very beginning of Cafe.
Ooh.
Thankfully, Noodle has changed that around. He's got his first. Down goes the Jaeger. But Runner, again, is there in support. He is right there when his teammates need to make sure that it can work. He can't rescue Robbie, unfortunately, and he can't get in a position to finish off Verns, who is down on Red Stairs. So that should be a man advantage and a healthy revive for LionsCreed, who taking a good bit of ground and a good man advantage already with a good amount of time remaining on top of that. Lots of good things.
Yeah, he downed Ferns with that C4, however he wasn't able to finish, as you said. That Gemini from Steno just keeping watch as Verns gets revived there, and now it looks like Cyberground are playing just a tiny bit more passive, and as I say that, Bomber swings wide on the skylight. Never mind.
And they stop doing this. Cyberground, they don't need to be this over-aggressive. Vern's trying to figure out how the new Melusi changes work while Superstar picks up one. Make that two! Runner finds a second and one more on top! It swings around! 4 versus 2! No longer 2-0!
Just as I was about to say, just as I was going to say, Cyberground do, yeah. Just as I was going to say that Cyberground do need to play aggressive, but swinging skylight there, not the play. They listen to my inner thoughts and go, yeah, Ryan, we'll play aggressive, and we'll play aggressive in the right positions. And they swing wide, round piano, and manage to take out 3 of them, all of them, really.
Oh.
That was pretty remarkable.
You know what the difference is? This map so far, Ex-Cyberground, they're taking risks. But the thing is, they're working more so than they're not. Of course, Heavy, worked against them very much with that risk, and that was more a completely unnecessary risk by the majority of the team. I'm talking about the slightly more sensible risk that they're taking and moving into isolated positions and moving towards an unknown quantity of players sometimes. And a big element of that could be this Valkyrie pick that we're seeing relatively often from Ex-Cyberground so far on this map. Giving them that little bit of information and then they're acting off it. Having her banned out last time could have been a huge problem for them. I'm starting to believe that is true. Despite the fact that they banned her out themselves, of course, previously. That is a nice spot. Thank you, Cairo, for letting us see that. I'm stealing that. Yeah,
well, like I said during the pregame, the only reason that Cyberground should not be banning Valk here against a very aggressive iteration of LionsCreed is if you're using it themselves, and they have been. They've used it incredibly effectively. Runner is their top. You do know. Runner is their top performer, going 7-1 here, and it's definitely helped out Robbie, Shatter, and Superstar as well a great deal as well. Bomber not doing too well as his compatriots. However, he's probably the one sitting on those cams and providing that information, so he's still doing a very valuable job. Steno, still sitting somewhere, as he is he's, again, watching for those rotations on that top-down clear. That is actually pretty well done, because they might push through Brown, especially if you have player up by New Hatch by painting. They can quickly drop down and then run through Brown stairs and reposition. However, Steno would be sitting there. Anyways, speaking of
there's no surprise Bomber kill-wise. It's not really his forte. He has the 3rd lowest average kills per map in the league, as the top team as well. Obviously, his teammates have got them all, so where is he going to get them from?
Yeah,
so it does make sense.
If he wasn't, good enough to be in that team, he wouldn't be in the team. He's part of the best team in majors, and they keep him around for a reason.
Yes.
There's no need for doorstops in Rainbow Six, so he has value, of some sort, just not value that we can accurately describe with the statistics we have on hand.
Well, we should be able to see, maybe with those black eyes, like what kind of cams people are looking at after they die. That's quite an interesting one that us casters now have. And any analysts, any VOD reviewers out there, that's a really great addition. I'm very thankful we see that. Sometimes a bit of an overload, but when you're watching things back, it's a good way to do it. It could. It certainly could. There are outlines all above Superstar, and throws it nowhere near either of them. A missed C4 opportunity, but 50 seconds left. LionsCreed, they haven't taken out any men. It's going to come down to all-out warfare as they blast on towards the site. But actually, they've opened Freezer, and there are still players holding over by Bar. So this is going to be a really tough push. The Fuse's still upstairs. What can they do, LionsCreed?
What they can do, and I hope what they do is take it runner and bomber on that position, because if they can wrap round Whiskey, take coat check, then maybe they can get this Freezer execute done fairly well. Steno taking a Robbie, there goes your mute and your main anchor within the site, and that is a down for Bomber and a kill. Robbie Tussins gets taken down. That Nomad taken out, however, he's probably used most of his utilities. Steno trade on to Shatter as the execute slowly starts to come out. Bomber takes that Vern, runner down to Noodle, runner a second one on Heavy, and now it's a 1 versus 3 and time has run out.
A risky move to blast in Freezer, but given the smart positioning around Bar and VIP, all they need to do, you could see with Runner's angle held there, hold passive angles, wait with your C4s as well, any remaining in pocket, and just watch them panic, because LionsCreed, they can only funnel themselves in through one little doorway or an obvious window they're going to be shot from, and they're done for. So very, very smart play by Ex-CGG. They move 4-1 up, and bar heavy heroics, which you kind of expect, we could be looking at a good 5-0, and these rounds have been dominant. There's only been one where it was kind of a turnaround, which was that 2 versus 4. But even then, Cyberground still looked strong throughout the majority of the round. This is problem stations for LionsCreed, and they're in the same position that their opposition were in last time, because it's a 4-1. Can they take it to the 4-2 and then rock it on their defenses? Or are we looking at a 5-1 and Cyberground heading towards that equalizer? Because remember, if they're ever so slight advantage, kind of historically and in quite a lot of ways on Clubhouse.
Certainly, but just like, look how dominant Cyberground are being right now. You know, LionsCreed can bring this back 4-2 and then you're on the defensive hap. However, this game is a lot less defender-sided than it was a couple months back. You know, like, it's less kind of hard slog, clear shields, and it's more the style you're seeing Cyberground absolutely dominate with. However, it's a risky style. You know, you can still lose those gunfights, but LionsCreed just aren't winning them, and it's just not happening for them. And I hate to boil analysis down to lol, just shoot head. However, there is a bit of it, you know, like, just based off the way that, there we go, there's a bit of head shooting there as Heavy takes out Robbie, but like, as I was saying, you know, it's just the way that Cyberground are playing, and the way you combat that is, you know, either being incredibly strategical and just cutting off all the rotations, going in for perfect executes, or you just shoot head. It's one of the two, you know?
Well, that's always the option that LionsCreed will take any day of the week. But thankfully, from a strategic standpoint, the pulse is gone. On a top floor defense, rough to have that go. I'm not sorry, top floor. It's reading, isn't it? Reading and mining.
Yes, reading.
Still very impactful to get rid of that pulse either way. They got the Valkyrie as well for that direct intel of either variety. She actually pops up just as we move away. It's Noodle who's wandering through. Oh, the C4 shot out of the air, but Ferns is down anyway in the support. There's another player by the hatch dropping and taking the kill. Of course it's Heavy. Him and Steno, LionsCreed, or OG, getting some kills in response. They bring it a bit closer. No Superstar. Brings it back even, thankfully, for Ex-CGG. Keeps them in this a little bit longer. 1 minute 30, though. Great aggression here from LionsCreed. Heavy's just barreling on in towards the site yet again.
Somewhere in the map, an air jab explodes. I believe it's towards pixel as Shatter runs through it. He now gets the sense to rotate back, and Heavy is in what is essentially a 1v2 until Steno gets a move on. He's looking to push himself in towards Reading. Superstar takes him out on that Legion there. Now Heavy, it's just all about a waiting game, looking to see if he can find a head. He finds one, he won't get the other. Shatter takes him out and closes the round out. 5-1 on the half. It's comebackable, but it is going to be difficult for LionsCreed.
Certainly a salvageable position. Apologies.
Salvageable, nice.
I believe if Heavy had one or two more follows from earlier, he would have pulled that off.
Oh,
but
yeah,
unfortunately, audience, you've let him down ever so slightly. But again, it's left to Heavy in a 1 versus X on a reading attack to try and rescue things. Came close. He did a much better effort in the 1 versus 5 somehow. But 1 versus 5 is now the round score, and that is a big, big issue for LionsCreed. They need to pull out some of the best defenses we've ever seen. One of the best comebacks on Cafe ECS I've ever seen. I'm thinking we've seen some brilliant games. I can't help but recall long past Team Validus versus Lexaro forever ago, EEG Season 2. That was nuts. Shout out to Kovu in particular. Tempeta, I know you're out there as well. That was fantastic. But anyway, we're going to stick with the present right now. Ex-Cyberground in a great position to pull this back. It's very, very close. They need one round to take it to overtime guaranteed, at the very least, and then just one more after that.
As we switch the sides, Cyberground definitely showing a lot more on Cafe than they did on Coastline, and now it is time for LionsCreed to be on the defense. Based off the lineup, they are also going for the idea of aggressive play here. We've got basically one support op, and then the rest are all like frag slash flexes type beat here. As it also seems to be single freezer shield and nothing else, because they don't have the ability to run a pixel shield.
Oh no, that's unfortunate. Well, we'll see. They've got a very split lineup, both teams again. It's reliant upon this intel, and do they have the intel on Steno playing this aggressive peek? I don't think they do, but Superstar is just smart enough to be ready anyway. And before we can even start setting up what that might mean, it's a second for Bomber. Thankfully, Verns is there to stem some of the bleeding, but it doesn't work. He takes his hand straight off, and the bleeding continues. Runner finds one more. 2 players remaining. 1 minute gone. Cyberground. This is some enlightened attacking here on Cafe. Heavy, how did he sneak past that window player? Well,
he doesn't!
Lightning doesn't strike twice. He gets very, very lucky. First time around, not the same.
And now, with his entire team watching him, Verns has to try and clutch up. He's in a 1v2 and he takes out Shatter. Superstar returns on the trade.
Oh.
I did want to point out there, they're running double flank watch with the Zero running a single hard breach gadget. So it looks like they don't really want to open up too much when it comes to their attacking lineup. You know, maybe popping up a hatch here or there when it comes to kitchen, or just the red wall when it comes to cocktail or reading here. But no, they're running both the Nomad and the Zero, and I think that's really interesting, because then you can run Zero as more as an intel based operator, where you can use him to hold the active flanks with addition to the Nomad. I like that.
That was just too quick though to use any intel.
Yeah.
Surely.
They ran at them. They just ran at them.
Shoot some Argus launchers as a big old distraction, and in you go. Runner, I spoke just before, and actually in the previous map, about how impactful him and Superstar are to this lineup in general. Of course, Robbie as well. But those were the big question marks. Where is Superstar, for one, in map 1? And then, where was Runner? Because he didn't quite show up. But here they are, in full flow. And this is Ex-Cyberground. This is the team that you forfeit against, LionsCreed, during the league season. This is the one you are worried to play, and exactly why. And we joked before I said that it could be an absolute turnaround stomp from Cyberground, and what would that mean for Clubhouse? But here we are. LionsCreed, you've got to do something miraculous, or we'll already be all the way. You might have your wish, Ryan.
Oh, look at that new Team Secret skin. That is so good. I'm going to buy that as soon as I get off cast. Brilliant. However, we've still got one map left to go unless LionsCreed pull an absolute heavy-esque miracle out the bag. Which I'm not sure they really have in them. And, you know, let's look towards Clubhouse. But first we have to see them win here on Cocktail, and if they're gonna win here on Cocktail. It's a lot slower in the round. Steno taking out Bomber, that's your entry pick, and there goes your Nomads. Most likely air jab's not placed down, and now slowly but surely Cyberground are trying to take Cigar Shop control to progressively move into Cigar Lounge.
Cyberground, they have 5 chances here. 5 nice free chances to make sure that they can take this map. It's not going to get better than this. This is a lot better than they would have hoped for here on Cafe. Anyone sensible at the very least. And Runner is going nuts. He's found another kill. This is 13-2 right now. Steno is down, very importantly. And Rabitison, Superstar, going for his double digits as well. He wants to join in the party. Ex-Cyberground, it's not quite celebration time yet, but I can hear them collecting up their party poppers.
Well, stacked inside of Freezer is Noodle and Ferns. Ferns gets one for himself, taking out Superstar on that sledge. And now Shatter returns fire onto Ferns himself. There's a direct trade. Noodle playing behind the long bar, Heavy sitting by the bathroom here, as Noodle is just weaving in and out through areas on the site. He doesn't catch Robbie on New Hatch. Robbie downs him, finishes him off, and now it's a 1v3 between Heavy and the rest of Cyberground. Will he find a kill? He manages to find 2! Oh my god, the double down spray in the middle of no man's land. That is not something you will be able to revive. Maybe you'll get one, but you won't get the other! Heavy! With the shotgun!
1 versus 5, he pulls it back. 1 versus 3, it's nothing for Heavy. LionsCreed, Heavy was the only man standing between them and the map. Loss twice in a row. He has pulled it out when needed in a 1 versus X. Wow. Incredible. This is what Heavy can do. He's the only player right now standing up for LionsCreed. He's Mr. LionsCreed right now. I'm sorry, Steno, your title might be gone.
Maybe Steno's playing on Heavy's account. Maybe that's what's happening.
No, this is pure Heavy.
Yeah, no, this is pure Heavy. I don't want to take that away from him whatsoever. Oh my, he's
Can we look at their strats again just a second, Shiro? Because I'm pretty sure they tapped into it just
12
then.
and 6. The 2 rounds that LionsCreed have won have been totally and utterly. Yep, follow Heavy R6 on Twitter. Do it right now, or you might get 1v3'd by Heavy. Like, the 2 rounds that LionsCreed have won on this map have been solely due to Heavy.
No, it's Ex-Cyberground Academy 6, Heavy 2 is currently the scoreline today. We just need to see the rest of the team stepping up similarly. LionsCreed, they're being outstratted so far this game. They're being out-aggressed as well, somewhat being out-LionsCreeded by their opposition, if that's a verb. I'm going to go for it. They're in a great position. Still, Ex-Cyberground Academy. Obviously, they have that room for error. They have quite a wide margin here to lose quite a few rounds and still come out victors. Heavy, he's doing his team proud. He's got a 2 KD. Whilst being smashed this heavily is a very, very grand effort, but it doesn't mean much if you're going to head on towards Clubhouse. And with this momentum that Ex-Cyberground have, it's got to be stopped, and Steno can't stop them. He's down. It's up to the rest of the lineup, and already, look at these angles being opened on this kitchen defense. The ground taken. LionsCreed are trapped inside of the site. Noodle, thankfully, he's in coat check, shutting down the presence from Runner.
It looks to be all aggression for Cyberground, and it doesn't look to be working out too well here, as 3 kills have been found on the side of LionsCreed. As right now, Shatter's just trying to work that breach. Bomber over towards the restaurant area of Cafe, as he's just holding that long angle, waiting for a peek, trying to bait it. Doesn't know that there's one by small bakery door, just holding the long angle. If he swings on that, he dies. Shatter also trying to bait out peaks. This is all that happens here as of right now, as Rounds is just playing on the contact of Robbie, making sure that he's in an utter crossfire. Bomber, he's inside of Freezer. Shatter's going for the long coverage as they're just waiting for the picks.
There's 2 C4s remaining, that's the thing. Heavy doesn't have one, but Robitson can just toss it over. He doesn't have to take this fight necessarily. He's just got to guard himself. There he goes. He throws it nice and early and doesn't work out. The other one's way over across in small bakery. That is a good advantage for Ex-Cyberground, trying to move in. Verns has come back and taken some damage as well. Quite low health for LionsCreed. Still a minute remaining. It is a horrible cross angle for Ex-Cyberground, but it's magic moments that can make the difference. And there's one! Robitson's down! And he falls! Verns is the only man standing! Can he pull out a heavy moment? It's between him and Clubhouse right now. Ex-Cyberground on the precipice of taking their map here in the semi-final. Can they pull it back? It's just Verns. The C4 doesn't work, but the MP5 does! Bomber's down! He can get this revived, potentially! But the angle is so close, Shatter, he will surely hear it and swing on by. He's got the SMG-11 out. 20 seconds. He's got no time for a different plan. He has to gun, and he has to do it now. Heavy can't be revived. The damage, it will tick. There he goes. He's down. 10 seconds remaining. It's still going. Shatter, he has to swing in. Burns wins it with a clutch. LionsCreed, hang on. 1 round longer.
Oh, your head must hurt after all that shouting. How hype is this? What's going on?
It's a heavy moment from Verns. LionsCreed, they see the match point and they say, not quite yet, if we have anything to say about it. Nothing to do with Bomber. Ex-Cyberground going a bit over-aggressive there. What a turnaround from that 3 versus 2 position from Ex-Cyberground. But they couldn't seal it in the end. Just not enough.
That was just... I believe it was...
I haven't shouted like that in such a long time.
That was... It felt like such a checkmate, and then... Who was it on the sledge? Was it Robbie or Shatter? Shatter's on the sledge now, but... Yeah. So Shatter grabs 2, and he does it really well by baiting out the call from Heavy. So he peeks for the information on Heavy, and he knows there's one playing for the contact. It was Robbie Tucson playing for the contact by that that kind of hot plate there. And so he peeks for the info. Heavy calls it, he's peeking, and then Robbie swings up. Shatter gets him. Shatter then swings back on Heavy, who's now looking for a trade, and downs him as well. That was really, really well done from him. A remarkably smart play.
I'm just a bit winded, right? This
Same,
game
to be honest.
insane.
I'm going to have to down like 7 paracetamol here after
What
this.
is this? I mean, we've got another semi-final tomorrow. That I'll be bringing with. I'll be with Jerry, and that's going to be crazy. Team Manic versus Jaegers, and not to take too much attention away from this game, but during this little bit of a lull, there's a kind of pit in my stomach whilst we just take a moment. That's going to be a crazy game because Manic, you might think they've had a rough season and they somewhat cheesed it into a pretty good position with some very good play at the late end of the season. But their performance in that last round was incredible.
Oh, against MSC?
Some of the smartest play I've ever seen. Their cafe game was incredible. And Steno, he's taken a bit of inspiration from that, and he's jumped down and taken out Runner.
Steno, he's just dropped down from heavens like he's Batman! Robbie Tyson's not blowing my mind. Bomber gets taken out. There's your Zero gone. There's your Sophia gone. Oh, wow. Okay. Robbie takes out Noodle. There's a trade. And now one more packet and it's even. It's looking a bit more winnable for Cyberground. They are still winning this game, everybody. Do not be fooled. LionsCreed may have won the last round in pretty spectacular fashion. However, Cyberground are one round away from going to Clubhouse here. And now the round slows down just a wee bit more.
1 minute 30. LionsCreed, they still have that roaming presence, and Ex-Cyberground, they've kind of ignored it. Superstar could be in trouble here as he peeks around, but does find Steno, locates his cranium, and gives them a good equalizer. 3-3 now. And locating those black-eye cams as well. Taking his time. Very useful. LionsCreed, it's just going to come down to that gun skill. And also, those 3 C4s. It's the 3 same men as last time in a very similar position. They don't have the man advantage that they had, but they still have heavy. And they still have Verns, who's on that high from the heavy moment. Maybe it's Robitussin's turn for one.
Yeah. 50 seconds left in the round, and Verns, oh, he's going to go for this C4 in the hatch. Is he going to peek it? No, he's going to run away. He's just going to draw attention away. Probably looking for those long-range angles. He has the 1.5, but is it going to be worth fighting those 2Xs on the side of the attack? Shatter, plant going down just within the side of reading. Robbie takes him out on the long angle into Laundry. Now it's a 2 versus 3 with 10 seconds left. Robbie looking towards that train hatch, just making sure that nothing can be seen. Spotted at red 90 is Superstar Heavy waiting close to the gun. It looks like a bit of a checkmate here as time is running out, and now things need to happen. Robbie gets taken out by Verns, and Heavy finds Superstar. Round ends in a bit of a whimper rather than a bang here as LionsCreed find their 4th.
Incredible positioning, in particular, again, from Robitussin. Just that movement there, identifying the players, firing, moving away, tucking through, and then rotating back into the site across when he feels the pressures coming in. Just very simple, but very well executed. And the rest of the 2 picked 1 each as well. LionsCreed take their 4th round. They've brought it all the way back. I mean, it's almost an echo of Coastline as well, with Ex-Cyberground doing a similar performance. It wasn't quite as dire, and it wasn't quite as dramatic from them, but still LionsCreed managed to take that 7-4. And Ex-Cyberground, I've said, they have 5 rounds to waste now that they're on overtime point, on match point. They've thrown 3 of them away, though. So they've only got 1 left if they want to win in regulation. And right now, on this kind of mad spur we're seeing on the defensive half of LionsCreed, obviously a very defender-sided Cafe's coming out. But other than that, I don't think Cyberground are winning it if this goes to overtime.
They have to find. Surely they find a groove here within the round. They've almost done it so many times on the attack. And it's really gone to pot. But
yeah, it's the clutch factor that LionsCreed have. That's the thing.
Like you said, Verns had
players.
the clutch factor, and Heavy's been having the clutch factor here.
It's just ECS. They are ECS royalty in general, and we've seen them do it time after time in the big moments as well. This is exactly. This is the home leg for LionsCreed.
They've done this before. They'll do it again.
Yeah.
And just really, they need Cyberground need a bit of a reset here.
The story,
because if the momentum and that constant loss within just kind of grows, that environment in that Discord or that TeamSpeak, it's just gonna be so negative here. In my opinion, just grand kind of generalization. Most T14s, they're either young, they're of course they're amateurs, and usually they can't really handle that mental. LionsCreed is one of the teams that have always been able to handle that mental, and never been one to back down from a fight. But just as a generalization, that's usually what you see happen here. So right now, Cyberground need a reset, and they need a good round to take it to Clubhouse.
Well, almost half the round is gone already, and not too much progress has been made. Thankfully, Robbie is there to prove me a little bit wrong. Takes down Robitussin with a nice nade. Not too much ground has been taken, just lingering on some of these windows. Catching off any players. A nicely tossed one, it seems, onto the door frame to catch off the Mozzie around the corner. Very smart Iana play. Ground taken underneath, and LionsCreed don't seem to have any sort of roam now. Pretty much presence across the east. So west versus east. does favor Cyberground with that man advantage. They just got to make sure Noodle is dealt with relatively quickly. Steno in support is never an easy ask.
Steno in support is definitely pretty terrifying. However, Shatter on Twitch, especially with a new improved recoil, is also pretty terrifying. Steno finds one in return. He swings one, finds a second. Robbie trades him out. However, now it's a 3 versus 2 on the side of Cyberground. LionsCreed, 2 players left here. They do not have man advantage. However, they have Verns and Heavy, the 2 clutch players that have won them some pretty damn good rounds here.
Oh,
now
the drop!
And it's been spotted out. Heavy knows. Maybe he's going to go for a pre-fire through the wall. Nope, he's going to peek out and try and look for him. However, whoever is sitting behind there, I believe it is Runner, is just kind of chilling out. Shatter! Robbie's gone too, while I'm rambling here as he slammed to one an angle on the first. Takes out Heavy onto Verns. Cyberground wins 7-4. That is now 7-4 to LionsCreed, 7-4 to Cyberground. 1-all. We move to Clubhouse. What do you think?
Oh, that was a game. Bit of an anticlimax at the very end, but missing England. Oh, England are on as well.
Damn. So are Scotland, I'm pretty sure. Or they're on later. I'm not quite sure. I don't follow football. Rugby's better, in my opinion. However,
well, this is a good argument as to why Siege is better, because that was an incredible comeback attempt from LionsCreed, but also overall a very good comeback from Cyberground, who were completely on top for the majority of that game, then struggled to get the job done, but they had such a big advantage that they could pretty much afford to just let some slip by the wayside. 7-4, 7-4, as the maps get a tiny bit more progressively kind of slower and a bit more standardized in their meta. Does have that ever so slight Ex-Cyberground advantage. The LionsCreed, now that they have that one map as well, it's even, all going into the final map. Impossible to call, mostly because of the impact players who can just change around like crazy. There were some incredible heavy moments during that game, and I'm sure there will be more awaiting us on the final map, Clubhouse, which we will be back for just in a few moments. So stick around. Hello, welcome back. We needed that break, dear me. Just to take a moment, and it hasn't even worked. I'm still completely exhausted from those two maps. It's been chaos. It's been madness. Of course, we expect that with a coastline. We expect that with the players on the rosters today. But there's a level of things that we didn't quite expect. LionsCreed having their fun, but ultimately still getting a little bit trounced given that early couple of rounds in the game. That 5-1 advantage, too much to overcome, Ryan.
Too much to overcome, and that was such a good map, such good plays. Excuse me. And also, I cannot call Clubhouse at all.
No.
In the slightest.
No. My only thing that would be a slight inclination is the fact that LionsCreed previously, other than the Arctic game, they've been pretty poor on Clubhouse this season. Not really looked themselves a lot of the time. But that being said, they haven't looked themselves a lot this season. The times they've looked themselves were on Coastline and in moments on Cafe. That is the LionsCreed that we know and expect. The heavy power definitely is part of it. And over on Clubhouse, what are we going to get? I mean, there's no way to predict anything. The only thing I'm predicting is a good bit of clash. And that's the only thing that could make this better.
Yeah.
And a bit of Roe Bitterson art as well, because he's quite a good artist.
Oh, yes. I can't call this, like, it's been less about the fundamentals for both maps and more about fragging potential for each side, and nice one.
I wasn't watching the England game.
Right, as we get into the game, Cyberground starting the defense, LionsCreed on the attack, and Cyberground get the first ban. There's a lot of bans you can see, however, they're all pretty uniform. Usually you'll see Thatcher or Maverick or Habana or Ace on attack get banned out, and then usually you'll see Mira, Kaid, Valkyrie, and maybe occasionally Maestro get banned out on defense, and usually it doesn't differ from each side. Occasionally you might see a Goyo ban on defense, actually, now that I think about it, because the shields are pretty useful. However,
an interesting bit of variety though in ECS as of late. During the playoffs, I've seen Jaeger bans. I've seen a no ban from LionsCreed last time they came here as well, but that was an accident apparently. So we'll have to wait and see. We've got a Nomad coming out, which is actually quite a bit of a surprise here on Clubhouse. I mean, it does indicate though, with LionsCreed, at least their defensive half, what their plan might be.
It might be that, and it also might be LionsCreed looking to ban an operator that they're not going to utilize within their attacking lineup. You see, they're on attack first, and Nomad isn't really brought and is considered a lot less valuable on Clubhouse because you have to bring that double hard breach, and usually you'll want to bring that triple soft breach as well. Both the Moroccan operators have been removed as Kaid follows suit pretty quick. And now we're looking at the last defensive ban for Cyberground. Kaid is fairly common of a ban and is remarkably useful, especially on that basement to get those hatches, especially Moto Hatch. And Mira, also useful on that basement, but useful on Jim and Cash to a certain extent as well.
Well, we'll be seeing a bit of Hibana here today, I imagine, as she is available this time around. And, Verd's already opting for it. All the hard breaches available this time around, which is quite a nice, refreshing thing to see. Obviously, no Thatcher, but Maverick can do his work as usual. But of course, Valkyrie is in play. She was so impactful for Ex-Cyberground last time around on their defensive side. Some very great plays from Runner. Also opted for, yet again, she's not banned, so let's get a bit of use out of her. Noodle has 6 picked off of the ace, so opting away from one option of hard breach. They're not going for the triple, instead bringing the 0. That worked very well when we've seen it for Ex-Cyberground. LionsCreed, yet to see how they can utilize that best.
Well, it adds to your flank watch, obviously, But BR6 on Twitter, make sure to follow that, by the way. But it also gives you
that means
triple
Ex-Cyberground have been looking at the strat book, the LionsCreed. Oh no, that means they're gonna win.
Shame. What a shame. Anyways, yeah, you can run almost triple hard breach now with the Habana, the Maverick, and the secondary hard breach gadget that Noodle has in possession. We'll find out if he's using that in about 3 seconds. 2, 1, and yep, he's using it. So you can now open more reinforcements along the side of LionsCreed, and right now, you know, spirits seem to be high for Cyberground just based off what they're doing here in all chat. So I'm very excited to see what they do on defense. And just as we start to dig into it, it looks to be a guard side take for the side of LionsCreed.
Yeah, getting to quick work, there's a lot of things they need to do in your standard checklist. That's not one of them. Losing your intel player, that impact that we're talking about on the zero, not able to happen. Robbie's still going. I mean, in the Battle of the Robbie Wars, a lot of damage is dealt to both parties, but it is the Mozzie who falls this time around. So, unfortunate for Robbie and Ex-Cyberground. Done a lot of work early on. They're still going aggressive. Shatter still wants this finisher here. All he needs is a single bullet, but there's another player close as well who could easily swing on him. He gets Robitussin. Will he be taken out in response by Steno? Doesn't seem like it. He's going to take the ground, though. Oh, no, he is going to move in and take down the Jaeger.
Wait, there's no one on Rafters?
Equalize.
There is no one on Rafters. It was Shatter that was probably on Rafters previously. Steno now actually has garage control. He will leave it because he doesn't know. He doesn't have the drone. He doesn't have the information. Now Verns is getting picked up, and it's a 3 versus 3 for each side. Equal, what are you going to say, Evac?
Oh, he jumped. He noticed that the Hibana was down by the garage, jumped out the window and took her down. Trying to figure out where Verns was down from. It was a very nice play from
Verns was
using
probably playing outside of garage here.
He was, yeah.
And so right now, health advantage leaning towards Cyberground. However, that can change in a heartbeat or 2 bullets. So we are now looking towards LionsCreed, ingressing towards the site. That is a vault hole that Heavy now has to hurdle through, with also players playing on red. There's one on top of Island. Steno fires out a couple shots. Half health is now Bomber. And the round slowly starts to die down a wee bit.
A tiny bit, but Heavy starting to spark into action. And Steno, he's got a free kill here. He has to go for the sledgehammer, but he's got one more player to find. Burns instead locates it for him. LionsCreed, a very, very nice pinch to take the first round. So far, bad news is that the team who's won the first round has gone on to win the map so far and has had a big dominance. I mean, we've seen Ex-Cyberground do brilliantly at the start of a map. We've seen LionsCreed do that on Coastline. Here on Clubhouse, the trend must be bucked. Ex-Cyberground, start acting now. Do not make the same mistakes. They're returning to the same site, and hopefully they will mix something up a tiny bit. They have opted for the Maestro. I believe a 6-pick might be in order. But it's promising for LionsCreed, but also it wasn't too devastating a blow, I don't think, for Ex-Cyberground either.
No, I don't think it was devastating at all. I was so sure Steno was about to pull out the sledgehammer there. If that would have happened, I would have screamed to the heavens about that for the rest of my days. That is definitely an interesting round and a very, very frag-heavy round. A kind of, I don't know, a containment of what this game has been for forever, really. Just for this series, as you know, it's been really, really gun skill focused, with less thought put into strategy, especially on the attack. When we can view strategy, you know, there's obviously a strat here for Cyberground and defense, but when talking about attack, it's very much been we'll go kill them, and definitely defense strats it's been a lot more aggressive than you might see. But that's really, really interesting to watch. So I'm fine with it.
Yeah, the aggression may be a tad too much from Ex-Cyberground. A misplay from Shatter and Robbie, I would say. Getting very aggressive on the garage door, of course, to make sure that LionsCreed are as delayed as possible. But losing their lives unnecessarily, especially when they don't have support at the top of garage, allowing LionsCreed to take that immediately with no fear of repercussion, that is a huge mistake. And you give LionsCreed any sort of chance, and they're very, very unlikely to throw it away. I mean, we saw that on Cafe in particular. Any sort of chance, and they will pull it back. Runner, he's seen an opportunity of his own. He's going for the Maverick, but unfortunately, he is a bit cleverer than they might have anticipated. Upside down on Repel, there's no opportunity for his feet to be found. It's just Steno instead lying underneath, trying to find a pick of his own, but can't.
He cannot. Steno has definitely made a mark for sitting prone as Noodle gets a kill into Runner. That is such a nice angle from him. It's really, really valuable, especially because you can hold such a deep angle into red. He's now moving his location up so that he can just be just above head height and hopefully win this gunfight against Superstar. Superstar has been on fire, especially within the last game, and so has Shatter, who's now found Robbie. Steno gets a trade onto Shatter, who is, I believe, within bottom garage, and now it is a 4 versus 3 here on the round. Really dominant towards LionsCreed within this position, but you know, it can be traded out
well, the difference
anytime.
is that Shatter losing his life in this position inside the garage is now fine, because he's got a player above on Raptors holding that ground. They're losing men elsewhere, so stretched very thin potentially here. Lots of pressure on Robbie. He's got nades towards his position. He needs to evade them and the eyes of Steno as he aims with that SMG-11, but he's swept on! Superstar comes to save the day from underneath, only momentarily. A short-lived hero, and Robbie, he's not going to be living much longer either. LionsCreed take another round, 2 in a row on this site. Didn't learn their lessons there, Ex-Cyberground.
Remarkably lucky smoke for the side of LionsCreed there, as Superstar couldn't find a second because Verns was hiding within it, probably accidentally there, as they were clearing util, and just one extra smoke gets thrown over and all of a sudden you can't see Verns. That is very, very lucky for them, and it probably causes them to win the round. Maybe it gets traded out, but that's just ifs and buts. We're now moving over towards the basement, Arsenal, and Church. And we are seeing, again, a fairly aggressive lineup. This could be a bunker strat, though. Could.
I'll have to wait and see. I'm assuming, given the lineup, they'll
There's
have a relative amount of
SMU.
spread presence. I'm thinking with that Nomad ban in particular, Ex-Cyberground might take the moment. Might take the opportunity to be that little bit more flexible on their play. It does very much seem the case, although they are reinforcing the motor hatch, so it shouldn't be too extended.
It definitely won't be anything SSG-like. If anything, it'll be aggro towards, you know, secret and main stairs rather than anything too kind of grand. As usually, if there's something, you know, involving reinforcements above, you'll bring a mute in order to just waste extra time, and instead, Bomber is running smoke, which usually does mean that you are looking towards just bunkering down, but Shatter has different ideas. Bullet flies out, and so does the drone straight in his face. What a jump scare to deal with that. And now, oh, I thought there was someone on the chain repel because he did get shot from somewhere, but he has survived with his life and is now sitting towards top main. If he does peek at Robbie, he's now got a pixel angle towards his position. Yeah, he's not winning that. If he is, he's possibly the best player in the world. But you know, I don't know.
That'd be quite a title. Shatter, can he do it? Now the pressure's on. You can see Runner and Robbie both keeping eyes on black eye cams right now, and I'm wondering what Runner might be doing, because he's been on that for quite a while, looking for some early presence. I mean, he's sitting down there in the basement, so obviously they're just taking their time to see where players are coming from. C4's in a lot of the hands, and 3 players still with them potentially to use. There's some really inventive camera spots from Robbie today. We saw them on Cafe in particular being great, and no exception here inside of the frying grate or whatever you call it in kitchen. Not much of a chef. What would you call that?
I have no idea. I'm
Okay.
16.
If you're a chef,
Anyways.
let us know. Well, Heavy, he's cooking up something dramatic over in the tunnel. He's made a move on in, taken down the first man, which is the smoke. All of that delay potential gone, and he can move past his shield quite comfortably. It's a very good position for LionsCreed with this split presence. They don't have any presence inside of the kitchen as of yet, and they're going to get C4'd potentially as soon as they do, and the man counts equalize. So, strike back from Ex-Cyberground.
That's most likely why they're currently staying out. However, they haven't spotted the fryer cam, and there goes the C4, perfectly cooked as Robbie finds another onto Robbie, winning this iteration of the Robbie Wars. Shatter downed Heavy as Noodle looks to go for his 1vx. However, Robbie runs up and digs him. Wow, okay. Oh, that's a 1dig. Oh, it's disgusting.
Very, very nice from Ex-Cyberground. Exactly the thing that we were worrying about just before. They hadn't cleared out a lot of the utility waiting within the site, despite the fact that they'd done a decent job probing their way close. They still had a lot to do. They didn't deal with it properly. They were instead dealt with very, very smartly by Ex-Cyberground, putting numerous away remotely with explosives, not even having to take them in straight gunfights. Very simple from Ex-Cyberground. One round, the first for them, which makes a nice big difference because we've seen massive leads being taken at the start of maps previously. Finally, we've got a bit more of an even spread. Can they bring it back even before things get a bit worse on their defensive half?
I hope they can. However, it's just one round. LionsCreed proved dominant, but as soon as they went to that basement site, they were very, very outclassed. By that comeback there, they had the dirt control, they just couldn't get themselves within kitchen, and because of that, they've brought along the IQ. Now they're moving over to gym, which hasn't been played just yet, so we don't know how that's going to go, but just as I'd hazard a guess, it's the tertiary site, it might go towards LionsCreed here. And if it does, Cyberground are in danger because they've lost their CC twice. And, however, they won basement in dominant fashion. LionsCreed could go, 5-1, 4-2 up if this pattern keeps going. But actually, Shatter's been spotted, and here comes the pick. Maybe,
the IQ
possibly
as well on top of that. There's a lot to counter this Vigil. Robinson goes for an effort through the wall, doesn't get anything for it. He might just have to back out away from that position. Actually, no, he's taking a close angle, just in case. LionsCreed, they're going to play it passive for now. In terms of stats that are not looking good in terms of attempting sites and things, LionsCreed, they still only have a 50% win-loss on Clubhouse so far this season. They've been very up and down performance-wise, and today they've been up and down as well, so I'm expecting a bit of a raggedy and interesting up and down performance. There's nothing that could surprise us anymore on this map, and Robbie winning the Robbie Wars this time around, well, he's not taken by surprise by that drop from the roof, actually catching off his partner in name. 5-3 advantage already for Ex-Cyberground. LionsCreed, it's a long way back here, and it's getting further and further. Runner takes him out through the drone hole.
Yep, a long angle from Waits through the drone hole as Heavy was desperately trying to Maverick trick there. Very unfortunate for him and for his team because it does spell doom for that jacuzzi breach getting opened. Now all Noodle can do is wait for the picks, and he's in a 1v5 because Robbie has picked up Verns.
Yeah, 1 minute 20 for the IQ. It looks pretty much sorted from here. Of course, this is Heavy territory, but he's not in play anymore, unfortunately. Ex-Cyberground, 2-all here would be fantastic, assuming they don't throw it away. They've been a bit over-aggressive in the past in these situations. 1 minute left. Assuming things go to plan to some degree, which they do, 2-all is now the score. Back even.
He flicked to his own teammate there for a second.
He almost did.
He almost just headshotted the mute player.
There is no pattern. There is no pattern with this game. It doesn't make any sense so far, this matchup at all. So I'm done with saying anything about that. There's no level of it.
You can't strategically analyze this. This is just picks. Like,
it is a frag.
it's
war.
interesting. It's very good when doing play-by-play, but trying to analyze this is difficult.
Little bit lost. Thankfully, there's a bit of something that's a bit more obvious, thanks to the 6th pick off the Bandit, baiting that out to maybe stretch LionsCreed and think they might need to bring a bit more hard breach. It is just the mute as the option of denial for Ex-Cyberground. As weirdly enough, they reattempt over here. Over in CCTV. I mean, it's not weird because like it's not like they wouldn't go for bar stock. But that being said, they've had quite a few issues here. If there were ever a time to do a bar stock, it would be in this game, surely. Anywho, good amount of time. LionsCreed, they'll be figuring out exactly how they want to adjust and attack this, and they've got such a varied lineup of operators to meet. I feel like IQ is the smartest pick possible because she can figure out whether it's the Legion, whether it's the Valkyrie, just a Rooney, Mute. She's got the better of all of them.
Definitely here, as IQ has brilliant detection skills. However, she's very hard done by to clear them out if they are bulletproof or in places where there are solid walls. As Verns just does a wee bit of a little trick here to pop open a long angle all the way up to Rafter's window. He's popped the top open of the garage wall. Bomber sitting by the billiards window trying to look for pick in, I wouldn't say desperation, but in I'm trying to find words and I've forgotten words, and words are kind of my job. Help me, I'm scared.
It's alright, you get paid regardless.
Yeah,
it's fine. You can just sit here shouting heavy moment for the rest of the cast and we'll be fine. Anyway, 1 minute is gone, and the big difference is, these guys, they don't get that prize pool. If they lose here, they won't be getting paid either way. They got to make sure that they get through to that final and challenge whoever they might find. Heavy's been taken down at the very start. It should be a simple revive if Verns can survive the pressure from Bomber, which it might be quite tricky to, because is he aware of it? The door, I'm not sure if that was opened in advance. Bomber now swinging around.
Yeah.
Can't feel comfortable in their position. Robit's also potentially isolated. Noodle, though, does take down one, and Verns gets the better of Bomber. Again, over-aggression punished by LionsCreed.
I thought that reinforcement was bugged, which is the worst thing to have happen to you. I had it happen in a scrim the other day, and it almost made me want to commit a violent crime. Superstar, what a shot onto Noodle, and now a run out from Robbie. He's there in garage, though. He doesn't know that, and now he's about to run into just what is about to be a rotation here in the lounge, so he's kind of stuck unless he rotates all the way through bar. And here is a nade from Steno. Doesn't even do a lick of damage. However, Superstar's alone on site, and they can just 1v3 him here and isolate him. Now, Robbie is trying to find a pick, and he finds Steno! Will he find Verns, though? So he's somewhere close. There's one on the rafters window. It's been called out. Robbie now. Robbie Tisson's now been downed, and now it's been blown! Ex-Cyberground! Oh, what a shot! Wow,
Robbie,
well done.
Robbie, incredible play from the man, pulling it all the way back. LionsCreed, they take a big advantage, and Ex-Cyberground strike back incredibly. Church and Arsenal they'll be going to next, but Robbie, we were talking about the fact that he's stuck over there in the main entrance. There's barely a way round unless he rotates around from underneath, or he takes the fight on Steno. Steno's in such a strong spot. Somehow he comes out victorious in that fight. He regains control downstairs, places that C4, waits for the right moment. Thankfully, his teammate downs the other player. He has to either go through a revive or try to stick the plant, which means he is isolated, stuck behind the server block, and boom, there goes the C4. Round one. Robbie, incredible. Going 8-2. He's got a 4 KD right now at the start of this game. What an incredible start from him. I mean, everybody in this lineup today, every single player has had at least 3 moments in this match, and it has been wonderful to see. It's nowhere near over.
Nowhere near over at all. However, the
Just
splits...
begun.
Yeah, it is.
Dun, dun, dun.
Actually, it's somewhere around halfway. This is the last round of the split. Well, LionsCreed tied up 3-3. Oh well, Cyberground run away with a 4-2, leading into attack. Heavy has droned out Shatter for the last 5 minutes. Will it get shot? I don't know. However, just based off LionsCreed's play last round on Basement. Last time they played Basement. There we go. Good words. Last time they played Basement, it was pretty dominant. However, they didn't have the IQ on side. Instead, Noodle was playing the Jackal. And now he can see if Runner hops on those Black Eye cans, which he currently is.
Yeah, dominant in favor of the defensive side, must be said. They were pretty much on top. It was a good bit of ingress in the tunnel from Steno, but then was pretty quickly shut down, and there wasn't really much of a move other than that. No main stairs presence, no blue split. That's the sort of thing you expect from a Steno team, and they didn't offer any of it. Noodle instead, did he use the scanner to find Runner on a Black Eye cam just then and get him through the floor? I think he might have. And 2 more have dropped on the defensive side. Incredible incisive move already from LionsCreed. And there's only 2 players left.
There is only 2 players left. That is complete dominance on the side of LionsCreed. But there is still a 2v5, and that is still winnable if they play the cards right. Shatter takes out Noodle. I thought that was Heavy getting the kill there, and it was going to be a 1 versus 5. However, Shatter is now looking towards aggressing up towards the stop. Superstar throws a C4 based off sound and blows it, and Robbie Tussin gets blown away. Shatter, retreating back from his flank, realizes they're going to push onto the site, and now we are just waiting for the execute. This is a lot more winnable than it was about like 30 seconds ago, and now, oh, look at that angle. He can see that person. The stream's frozen for me for a second, but nothing has happened just yet, and he gets thrown out. Superstar evades it. 1 minute left in the round.
Yeah, it's just a time to sit and wait for LionsCreed, figure out exactly where these players are, and then maybe the split move, maybe the full-on move together. What they don't need is to lose Steno here. Thankfully, the bullets don't quite connect. It looked a bit closer than it was, and now it's just down to Superstar. He's trying to deny the player inside the tunnel, goes for the hatch player, gets one down, and the tunnel player, but there's one more above. He's not quite aware. Verns is there to save LionsCreed and bring them even before the split, but it came so very close.
Very, very close. I thought we were about to have another... Yeah, it is what you said. That is correct. I thought we were about to have another Heavy moment here, this time on the side of Cyberground. But unfortunately, there was 2 players on the hatch, and Superstar may be a superstar, but he's not inhuman and can't move that fast between
targets. Has there been a plan today?
No.
I don't think
not
has.
Once. Not once at all. No. Not at all. Not once.
Oh, dear. In what, 27 rounds
27
so far
rounds,
this game?
all kills.
Not a single plan. Brilliant. And this is the game we were probably more expecting to see. It's not gone the way I expected. It's been so up and down and crazy. But thankfully, I think we've reached a point where all of the players are playing some of their best games and having a brilliant time. It's just a matter of who's coming out, maybe a bit of luck here and there. Just an incredible bit of play. The clutch moments, especially from the likes of LionsCreed, but Robbie, he's been stepping up with his own as of late. It is possible across the board. We're seeing the first defense of the top floor here from LionsCreed. Very, very rough for Ex-Cyberground. When they attempted it, they pulled it out of the hats very, very close, thanks to Robbie, on their 3rd attempt. It doesn't bode well for LionsCreed, but they're going to give it their darndest. And they seem to be a bit more focused on the garage side, but not very aggressive, which is confusing, and didn't expect that so far.
Yeah. So, side switch, LionsCreed now in the defense. I feel like this is where they could go away with it. Cyberground's lineup, very, very basic, nothing too special, but pretty interesting. But not particularly out of the ordinary. What's out of the ordinary is Shatter going full metal jacket and killing his own teammates there. That is very unfortunate. However, it is onto the Zofia, so it's not particularly like too bad. It's not like you're taking away your Habana or your Maverick. It's doable. It's almost as if Robbie got spawn peeked.
Yeah, they'll be imagining that's the case. I mean, it gives Shatter something to prove, at least this round. Gives him that extra impetus to try and get some kills, as if he needed any more with the stakes here in ECS. But up comes Bomber. He actually gets one through the breach. A lovely shot, and the Superstar is there to follow up with a double. Not just the one, but the second, putting pressure now as he's taken in, I believe, from the sight window. Just blasting on in. He's got the angle covering across, finds the Melusi. He wants the quad. He's hungry for it. Heavy stands between LionsCreed and this defeat, and he stands no longer. A lovely quad from the sledge. Oh,
and a flawless round.
Brilliant play. Flawless round in total. Wow.
Superstar really proving his namesake there, as I did say LionsCreed would come into their own, but it looks like Cyberground have actually come into their own, even with a team kill. That does beg the question: do Cyberground play better when Robbie is dead?
Don't think so. Given this game so far, Robbie is a key part of the machine. Of course, can give them that little bit of intel, that little bit of a extra knowledge whilst they go for that move. Obviously, part of that intel play was Superstar knowing that he could just blast on into the site with a lack of presence from LionsCreed. They weren't very spread in the aggressive sense. They weren't peeking too much, which is bizarre for a LionsCreed lineup for one. But the second point is they were actually quite spread out across construction and other areas and didn't have too much direct site pressure. So once the angles were opened across and the Maverick found his first pick on the breach, why not just jump in? Go for it. There's no presence inside of Garage after that pick, so why not? It worked, and it looks like Bombers... I mean, LionsCreed, that's a good sign, because that's their number 2 plan.
Yeah, Steno doesn't. I don't think this changes much, says Steno, and Shatter replies, it really doesn't. They've already proven they can win in a 4v5, however...
No, they can't without Bomber. When Bomber leaves, they lose. That's the pattern so far.
Yeah, it does actually.
Right?
Yeah, it does. As, what's it? Oh my god, I've lost my train of thought. Oh, they are considering whether to rehost, but it doesn't seem to be happening. Heavy's just going for the throat here. But if we remember back to the strat book of LionsCreed, Bomber disconnecting is one of their win conditions. So, can they win on this condition?
It's all boding pretty well, because on the basement, you need every bit of utility clear as an attacker that you can get. And without any Maverick available, I believe he was playing Maverick, right? They don't have anything else to get the hatches open that might be denied in any way. Well, to help in some ways. Steno has found Superstar and Robbie. Oh no, it's an actual trade. That's what confused me. 2 versus 4 for Ex-CGG right at the beginning. Diffuser's down inside a lounge, I believe, or blue, miles away from the 2 remaining men. We've seen crazier comebacks. Runner, it's now his time for the heavy moment. Robinson takes down Shatter. I think he's just going to go in wild and just blast into sight, try and pick them all through frag-wise. If anyone's capable, it is the top KD, the top fragger in ECS this season. He finds the first. There's Heavy. Takes out the default cam, most importantly. A very important pick, that one. 3 more to locate.
I think he misses it, actually. I do think he missed the default cam. He's now waiting for that Banshee to get shot. Yep, he's missed that. The default cam is still up. He managed to win against Heavy shotgun versus shotgun, but now he's in a bit of a tough position. I believe he knows that there's most likely one in blue. He knows that there's one deep armory, and now he's just waiting. Yep, pings come out. He knows that Verns is deep blue. Does he know that Robbie's playing his trade by the bomb? That is the question that will be answered very, very soon. As he pushes deep into sight, Robbie tries to chase for the pick as he's just nothing's getting done. Smoked off his moto as we're just kind of waiting here. 50 seconds left. It's a bit of dead air time, and now he tries to rush through Ashwell. I think he's managed to do it. They're now rotating over. He's going to try and get a pick. Swings wide, does Noodle, and Runner gets taken out, and that's what happens there.
All LionsCreed need to do, just play it smart, play it simple. A good effort from Runner, but very little he can do. All the hard work done in the early round by LionsCreed, alongside the fact that some of the work was done by Bomber, in for the fact that he just left. What a decent amount of impact he has had on this game, just in his absence today, Bomber. When he's not been in, they've lost a round. It happened twice on Coastline. I believe once on Cafe, maybe. And definitely here it's still true, and we're back even. Ex-Cyberground though, now that they're back, they've got the 5 men, they have all the options. They're not going to bring out the Blackbeard. They're just trying to scare LionsCreed because they banned him twice in a row on the previous 2 maps. They are of course opting for full-on hard breach, ready to go on for this CCTV attack again from LionsCreed. They got a little bit smacked here.
This couldn't be more tense, to be honest. This honestly couldn't be more tense. We're tied up 4-4, round 9. Both teams can go to map point within the span of 2 rounds. And now we're going to CC, which, like you said, they did get pretty aggressively slammed here on the previous. But maybe
not
this
even
time
in the fun way.
Not even in the fun way. So maybe this time they'll, I don't know, learn from the mistakes and find something. Because this time, hopefully, Robbie will be on the side of Cyberground rather than Cold on the ground.
Well, Vern's again the only option to deny the breach, as the Maverick's been opted for pretty much every time by Cyberground. This time, Bomber is around to make sure he can do it. Will Superstar be as unleashed as he was in the previous round, blasting in through the window, finding so many players? Well, he's on the Jackal, not the Sledge this time around, and he has the potential with that C7A. If he's practiced with its ever so slight change as well, I believe it's recoil as well as damage, or is it just damage drop?
What's this? The
C7E.
I believe it's damage
just
drop.
damage.
I haven't experienced any.
Well,
issues with
no
recoil.
problem then, because he just gets headshots instead and finds the first. Jackal, great play, already double digits. He's having a great time. I feel like the spread of the kills for LionsCreed is their advantage in the fact that it can come from anywhere. Right now, Ex-Cyberground are tiny, only a smidgen bit top heavy right now so far on Clubhouse. They need their players who aren't maybe getting as many kills to step up in the big moments. 4-all, that's where, I mean, we're 3 rounds away from a team potentially winning. Ex-Cyberground having that ever so slight advantage, I feel, on the attack, and they certainly had the advantage within this round, because not just 1 man, but 2 men to the advantage now. Bomber can start barreling on into the site and maybe get a plant down.
That really shows that one interaction there, what this entire series has been like. Instead, possibly, yeah, no, definitely a sneak plant here. Bomber goes for it, and now the coverage comes out. Heavy's been down, but what a C4! Bomber taken out, and there's your diffuser, Cold on the ground, basically no man's land. Shatter gets a kill onto Noodle there, leaving it in a 4 versus 1, and a 3 versus 1 now as Ferns gets one. He knows there's one by the rotate, and he finds a second one. Now there's one by A-Bomb and one planting by default. He just needs to push up and find the kills. Diffuser goes down, Robbie swings wide, and now we're just waiting for the pick! Robbie! There he is! Finding the kill.
Robbie! What a fantastic play. Bursting into song there, Ryan. I mean, there's no reason not to. It's in the musical of Ex-Cyberground versus LionsCreed. This is the big climactic moment where, I don't know, there's a dramatic breakup. Gabriella leaves, you know, and Troy's sitting there and he's looking into the water, singing singing it himself. Anywho, you know, 5-4 advantage here for Ex-Cyberground Academy, and Vern's almost did it. Yeah, he loves giving us all a heart attack, but didn't quite pull out the 1 versus 5 there.
Oh, certainly.
A great effort again, but too much to deal with, and when Bomber is in the lineup, he just makes that difference. He has really helped Ex-Cyberground out. They are 1 away 1 round away from match point. LionsCreed now the 2 away from it. We're so close to the end now, and there's still
I don't want it to end!
Nothing to separate them.
I can't call this, yeah. But yeah, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by the burden of having to do play-by-play.
What a burden.
Yes, well, what a burden.
Horrendous.
Anyways, that interaction there on Rafters last round where Robbie just walks up and shoots one of the LionsCreed players. I can't remember who it was. I believe it might have been Robertson.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's just like a kind of like I'm looking for words again. I'm losing them. Basically, it shows what this series has been like in a nutshell. Essentially, where, you know, with Rafters, usually, you know, you drain the flashbangs and you clear them all out and you nade them and they run and then you shoot them because they have to move. But nope. Nope, Robbie just walks up and shoots him.
Alright, well, the big difference, there was a plant that round. For the first time in the game on any map, there was a plant. From Ex-CGG, which is rather promising. It was almost brought back by Verns, but just about not. LionsCreed, now or never. They've always brought it close in a lot of their games, even in their 2-0 victories so far in the playoffs. There have been some pretty tight maps in general. They've always made it quite difficult for themselves. And again, it's not easy when Robbie downs Steno. Can't quite get the finisher. Superstar should be aware of the revive. He could go for a double here. Robbie picks up one. It could get from bad to worse if he swings. He does. Finishes off Steno. Verns is down 2. Noodle, Hebby, and Rabidson, the final remaining players. But one of them's down. Rabidson strikes. Takes down Superstar. 3-3. The revive, it can't take place. They're too isolated. 2 players inside of red. One stretch towards Island now, but no presence across in the garage. It's free control for Ex-CGG to take. 1 minute 30. They have so much time. The attackers here to work out what they want to do. They're not slowing down, Noodle.
Well, now you have Heavy by radio, Robbie Tischen by red as the smoke grenades come out, but Runner's been sitting at the back of Con for the longest time. He takes out Heavy, and now finishing off his Shatter, I believe, taking out Robbie Tischen.
Oh, they're soaring, flying Ex-CGG on towards match point. And to this victory, the final of ECS spring season is within 1 round's reach. So close here to topple the Giants of LionsCreed. But it's not done. 2 rounds and it will go to overtime. And then just the 2 rounds after that, LionsCreed could still find their way. They seem a tiny bit lost these last couple of rounds. These defenses have not been quite up to scratch. We've had very defender-sided maps so far today. Not technically in terms of percentages and what you'd expect, but they have turned out that way in general.
Maybe it's a confidence thing. Maybe it's, you know, they have to push me. I'm on my turf. I get to set the pace of, you know, whether I'm going to play aggressive or I'm going to pass it, and they have to deal with it no matter what I want to do. And we're attackers.
You've got so many strong individual players who can be aggressive, and a masterclass in spawn
Shatter,
peaks as well
Robbie,
as
Runner was brilliant last map. You know, you got Verns, you got Robbie, Steno, obviously. Noodle's been playing well. Heavy last game, just... Everyone's been playing well. Bomber been a bit silent, but sometimes players just aren't like that. Sometimes players are more supportive and more team-orientated rather than having that individual power. And sometimes when you have a supportive player surrounded by players with just such raw individual power, then it almost balances out.
A very, very important round here for LionsCreed. Their legacy, I mean, it might be the final game we ever see from LionsCreed as they're all disbanding, they're going their separate ways. So yeah, it's going to be very, it'll be a sad whimper out if they don't manage to take this one. It's a tough bottom floor attack. They have really struggled here in the past. They did a good job on their defensive side, though, must be said, in the last round, leaving it all down to, I believe, Robbie, or, no, it was Runner on the buck. 2 minutes 20 on the clock. LionsCreed, they've been doing it the hard way the entire season. I mean, and they couldn't be in a worse position here to push it back. Unfortunately, they've lost the first fight. It's gone the way that Heavy is down.
Disappointment can be heard within your voice. Maybe not disappointment, but definitely defeat here for LionsCreed. However, they can still bring this back, and as I say, that superstar possibly proves me wrong as he takes out Robbie Tucson. He's sitting at the back of main stairs. Shatter, roundabout Moto. Now they're looking for a double peek on main, trying to get rid of that barbed wire. Maybe it's an Ashwell plant. However, Diffuser's cold on the ground by a kitchen hallway. 5 versus 3 now, and here comes the drop. Runner taken out. There's still 1 on the hatch and 2 by main.
Steno giving his team a good chance here, and Noodle brings it all the way back even, and the low health of some of these attackers may be called into question with the smoke still alive. 2 canisters remaining. No superstar! He's down as well! A lovely long pick from Steno. He's trying to find the reviving player. He can't quite go aggressive enough with he's unaware of the players on the hatch. Robbie, he takes the ground inside the tunnel as well. LionsCreed lose that ground entirely. Steno now in trouble. Burns thankfully brings it even. LionsCreed so close here. Ex-CGG, of course. They need 2 kills now. Shatter, he can't do it. Steno gets a triple. A lovely throw of that C4. Takes down the final Zofia. And they hang on. They claw it on. LionsCreed, they've done it the hard way this season. They were the 2nd lowest seeded team in majors. They've gone all the way through the playoff bracket with overtime wins, especially that one against Humble that came so close. Of course, it was Steno in the 1 versus 1, 7-all on map 3 that game, who saved LionsCreed, brought them this far just to do similar yet again, pulling them back with an incredible individual display on the basement site. 1 more round to go for a little bit of safety, just that little bit. He can afford to lose 1 round after that, but not quite yet. Ex-CGG, sorry, very close here to getting, in their first attempt here in ECS, all the way to the grand final.
Well, if this was a round, if they wanted a site to win the round on, it would definitely be the tertiary site of Gym and Bedroom. Usually the lowest win rate, actually I believe for both sides, or usually it is the tertiary bomb site, the site that is played third, which is usually, again, the lowest win rate bomb site here, as they've made just a bit of communication there between the players. One wants to make a vault rotate, the other wants to make a standing one. Anyways, CyberGround definitely have a large chance of winning this if they can deal with the cash side hold of LionsCreed. They straight ignore it. I'd like to see a rush come in, maybe, just to throw LionsCreed off kilter here.
Final round match point. You go for a rush? Wow.
Imagine.
I want you as my IGL.
But no, it might work. It's risky, but it's possible. Looks like they're going to play it a lot more slowly.
They're just going to take their time. Noodle placing some frost mats down as well to maybe capture 1 or 2 of these players off. Ex-CGG, oh, imagine that. Like 1 versus 1, they jump in a frost mat. We'll still have to wait and see. Ex-CGG, they're taking their time, split presence across the map. Having that player move up main stairs has been a difference maker as of late in ECS. We've seen a lot of Clubhouse games turn at the player on those stairs, whether they are successful or whether they lose that fight. But a lot of presence towards the site windows indicates maybe a quick move if they find the right frags. They've not managed to find anything other than a lick of damage onto Noodle, but he'll be fine. Actually, a bit more damage dealt to Shatter at this point.
Yep, as right now, we are still looking at an even 5v5, as Bomber and Robbie look to go for the save! Shatter, Superstar, taking it to Frank gets the trade out to Superstar. I have no idea where those kills came from, possibly from the windows, and maybe just based off where Verns is looking, maybe just by Logi. Shatter now sneaking up red stairs. He's looking to find his 3rd onto the round, and that would be Robbie Tucson. However, there's a castle barricade on that doorway. If he wants to knock it down, he's going to have to make some noise, and he knows it. He's now looking towards Yana, drawing just closely. He realizes there's 1 maybe under the barricade. I'm not too sure where that nade came from. Maybe it was a missed nade from himself there. And he pops over the barricade. Now Robbie's ready for him. Verns is ready as they jump into sight. 3v3, and now they're pushing in. Gemini goes out into Cash, and now Robbie has taken out Heavy, and now Robbie Tisson is taking out Shatter. It's 2v2. It couldn't be any closer. I still can't call this. Verns is downed. There's only one left, and he's in Cash. Robbie, you have control of the site. Bomber, he picks one up. Is he gonna get a second? Yes, he is. He's gonna knock out LionsCreed. That is the last game for this roster as Cyberground go to the finals. They win, Jim. They win 7-5. Remarkable.
Incredible play from Ex-Cyberground, doing what they have done all season. Win the game. It's just incredible. I mean, their strat book must be even more complicated than LionsCreed's today, but they had the first point that LionsCreed also had, which was we win, and they certainly did. They came out on top. It came close yet again. It's been back and forth, then back and forth, and then back and forth within round-to-round craziness. That's the story of the three maps. What a roller coaster of a semi-final. One of the best we have seen. LionsCreed fall at almost the final hurdle, the second to last hurdle. They will not be meeting Team Manic or Jaegers their game tomorrow in the grand final. They will instead be going to the third place match. Last time they were there, they won it out against Lexaro over in EG Season 2 quite a while ago. But they won't be worried about that right now. They'll be quite sad. Yeah, just double LionsCreed.
Yep.
Very sad.
Place both of them. They're going to have to play themselves. That will most likely, just based off the fact that, LionsCreed are disbanding after this. They might want to... they might forfeit that third place game. I don't think it's being played on stream, therefore. It's... it might just be a solid goodbye. This could be the last game for LionsCreed, which is very, very solemn and sad. As you said previously, I believe, in Cafe, they are ECS royalty. They've been here for a long time. They have won ECS how many times? Twice? 3 times? Three times.
I believe, yeah.
3-time ECS champions. And it is sad to see them go like that. However, I, for one, welcome our new Cyberground Overlooked.
Certainly. I mean, the first map they've lost this season was the first map today of Coastline. That's the first time they've lost at all. Other than that, flawless record during the league season and brilliant effort on the final 2 maps. Coming out victors on Cafe with a dominant performance and then just having an ever so slight edge over on Clubhouse. A valiant effort from LionsCreed. There were some brilliant moments from every single one of their lineup, and we will miss them all very dearly. I'm hoping that at some point I'll be able to cast some of them in the future as they move on. I mean, already the likes of Suspended has gone on elsewhere earlier in the season. The rest of them, I hope that they will do well, and I wish Hebby a glorious retirement as well.
Oh yeah, because he's I hope he comes back, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think he'll come back.
Well, his big misplay was the fact that he didn't play Clash, and you know what? You play Clash, you win. They didn't win.
Yep. That was the last piece of the invisible ink on LionsCreed stratbook, and they didn't follow it. They didn't play Clash.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah, what a final game to that was so tense. It was such a brilliant game to cast. I'm actually amazed. My head is splitting.
It is. So let's draw some of that attention over across to tomorrow's game, because Team Manic, who are on an absolute roll, they've had a revolution, a complete change ever since the signing of Aslan. I'm not sure if that was from on-site, but he was previously there. He's a great player. He's really made a big difference to the team, and they seem to have figured a new way of playing. They seem smarter than ever. It is a Team Manic at the top of their game, coming up against Jaegers Esports, who have been very bizarre this season. The addition of Shift has been somewhat crazy to their strategies, and they've not been the most standard of Jaegers performances so far this season, in the way that they've been unpredictable. They've been wild. They've been crazy. And that's the sort of thing that might give them the edge over Team Manic, if they can maybe just out-confuse them, potentially. But we'll have to wait and see for that tomorrow. which I'm very, very excited for. But you know what? I think the second half of the football has started. So I'll let you all go now. You don't have to listen to me anymore. I have been Ebac. Today I've been joined by Ryan. Thank you very much for jumping in very late.
6 minutes.
Before we started.
Thank God my scrims got cancelled here because I would have been missing out so much on this match. Oh my God.
You would have indeed. And that is the sort of thing that you won't want to miss as well tomorrow. Me and Jerry will be here. Thank you very much for Cairo with some impeccable observing. You wouldn't think that he's not technically an observer with that brilliant performance, and Shiro as well with the background work and all the WikiLeaks on LionsCreed and all that.
The bits.
Good job, very good job. Anywho, we'll see you guys later. Off you go. See you tomorrow.